A free carrot ring. Truth revealed, darkness congregating, mobster lawyer chilling to the bone. What on earth would you not do to bring fiasco home? The fixes in bad, actors in the light. Some things we just know, even when the song ain't right. The fixes in not worry about a thing. Good prevails, so let me hear you sing. But none of it bears relevance. Parsing out the parlance, 47 down to 10. What's done is done, and here we are again. Some things we just know, even when the song ain't right. The fixes in, not worry about a thing. Good prevails, so let me hear you sing. So have faith, justice will prevail. Can you feel it? The thinning of the veil. Black, white, day, night, the Commonwealth derails. Sit down, motherfucker. Sit down, weasel demon. Hush now, talk is cheap. The universe sees what you're doing. Around the world, sending love and light to Karen Reed and John O'Keefe. Our outrage fuels the fight. The fixes in bad, actors in the light. Some things we just know, even when the song ain't right. The fixes in, not worry about it, not a thing. Good prevails, so just let me hear you sing. It's disgusting, it's exhausting, but if she can't do it, so can we. We ain't got no quit, justice prevails. Free Karen Reed.
Hey, Shorties. Hi. Hi. Buster was like, I feel like we're about to go live. Are we? And I said, yes. Yes, we are. Poppy's losing her mind. Hi. Hey. Hi. Sorry about the late start. Time. Oh, guys. Hi, Shorties. For goodness sake. They're going extra crazy today. Excellent. One for you. Poppy, where are you? What? Yes. Oh, so now we got that done. You'd think I'd sit down earlier and get that organized first, but hi, Stan. Good to see you. Micah. Hello, Princey. Steph. Is that Kraken? My psychotic prediction. It's all tied to not getting all civil trial because Morrissey knows everyone in the DA's office will be required to turn over personal correspondence. There's definitely more to it than meets the eye, right? The ostensible trial is but a cover for a lot deeper shit. Totally agree. Good to see you. Debbie Blair's here. Lovely, lovely. Life Artist is here, I see, but let me scroll. There we go. Happy Saturday, Sunday, right? I'm wearing a hoodie because it's Sunday here. Oh, a Miss Shorty music hoodie, just saying. Sunday, it's still dark because getting to the dead of winter in Melbourne. It's only going to be, get your calculators out, your translators. It's only going to be 9 degrees tops here, Celsius. That's not pleasant. It's not lovely and raining. How are we doing today? Cold. Nice song. Thanks. It's got 1,000 views, that song now, which is my highest ever view of Miss Shorty music. So love, 10/10. Member gift, Steph. Thank you, Steph. Sit down, Weasel Demon. I fucking love it. And there, thank you, Steph. Getting that ball rolling, girl. Thank you so much. Oh, Steph, I'll put you in the drawer in a minute. I've got my, what does this say? Advocate bracelet on from the advocacy conference that Steph went to next year, Albuquerque. Steph and Shelley, Pokemon going. Saber. Wait. Hey, I haven't done a poll yet. Yeah, right. Kraken. It's 90 degrees here, and Shorty is rolling into hoodie weather. It's like tricky because in the middle of your winter, I'm dying in my non-air conditioned house or unit, like wearing sleeveless tops, and I'm sure you all look at me during your winter going, "Ooh, cold," and then here we are. You'll be sweating on my behalf. Sweatshirt, pretty cool. Don't forget all buy me a coffees, Cash App, PayPal, and gift and memberships, super chat, super stickers go in the draw to win a Miss Shorty merch t-shirt or top. We don't draw them every week because unfortunately I'm a terrible grifter and we don't get enough numbers, enough entries. While I think of it though, a little bit of housekeeping. We're going to do a recap of the week that was, week 7, obviously, in the Karen retrial, the fiasco that is, with some, I've got some stuff. Motion just scream, what the fuck? Granted has got a whole slide presentation for us. Thank you so much. And then at 8 Eastern, your time, 10 a.m. here in Melbourne, Salty Sleuth investigates. Oh, I didn't set up a redirect. I'll do that while we're playing video, I think. Salty Sleuth Investigates is going to join us, 13th juror, in a new stream at 8 to tell us what she's taking away from, wishing she'd seen, etc. At this stage in the trial. We've had Salty on at the end of week 1, week 3. Hi, Laura. Week 5 and now week 7. So a fortnightly catch up with Salty. Really looking forward to it. Really looking forward to it. What's happening in Albuquerque? In Albuquerque next year in, I think, September, is the second advocacy conference, which our girl Steph went as a Camp Shorty representative this year, a couple of months back. When was that? Recently, and got so much out of it. So Steph's actually enrolled to do her certificate in advocacy. Steph, you can clarify for me what the actual title is. She's inspired to become an advocate and a timestamper. Steph, you legend. So thank you. Motion to scream, what the fuck, granted. Wait, that, and then I'll keep going with the housekeeping. Replay crew, hi. Thanks for joining. If you'd like to watch the live chat replay on your phone or handheld device after the stream has ended, come to a live if you ever can. It's so much fun in the chat. Best chat on YouTube. All you need to do is swipe left on the comments tab and it'll give you the option to view the live chat replay as well as leaving a comment, right? Late March 2025, it was. Yes. End of March. That's it. feels like 600,000 years ago and also a minute ago. So that. Kraken, yes. Just me. Well, hi. Just me. Same. I'm just me. Next part of the housekeeping before we get into stuff, because this is exciting. We've got a lot to jam pack into 3 hours. Less than, because I was late. Coming up at 9:30 Eastern, roughly, depending on how Salty and I go with our conversation. We'll be starting on YouTube and then heading over to Kick to watch episodes 4 and 5 of A Body in the Snow, which was so much fun last week. We had a really good lot of numbers, more than's here right now. So that. Now, I think that's all. Is that all? Yes, Miss Shorty Delight. Thank you. Motion to screen. What the fuck? Granted. That's my Kick. What you do on Kick is you go to Kick. It's a fun app. It's super fun. It's basically just like YouTube, but with almost no restrictions and a way more fun chat, moving emotes and stuff. You go and you follow. So you'd obviously be following Publicly Buzzed on Kick. And then me also. And Missy Mayhem. Missy Mayhem's got a channel, our friend, on Kick. So all of that. Hi, Catherine from Arizona. Akasha. Yay, trying to get my garden stuff done so I can watch. Do not lose your phone. True, Micah. Micah is a mod on Kick, so it's even more fun. Literal facts. Here's our token Kick boy moderator. Man. Okay. Now, I don't know whether it's the right time for this. Maybe I'll save it for Sunday night. I think we'll go straight into testimony. I have a really cool... It's about half an hour video to watch, right, from JD, a lawyer's, why do I never remember? A lawyer's perspective. A lawyer, here, I could just look. A lawyer explains. Gosh, my brain. A video to watch, but we might do it on Sunday night. Is that tomorrow night? You guys? My Monday. Tomorrow. Colours Flight, who's probably still asleep, and Tony P. Where's Tony? Must be a bit early for him. The three of us are going to have just a chit-chat discussion about anything and everything. Karen Reid, Colours Flight, has been doing some sleuthing and some research. She's drawn her own ARCA conclusions. No, not ARCA, but she's got some stuff. She's got diagrams. We're going to put our tinfoil hats on and have a really cool, fun discussion just Sunday night, shooting the shit, because I have Monday off work. All of that. Joe Schmo, hi there, Shorties. I need some therapy. Did I come to the right place? Fuck yes, therapy and fun. Welcome. I'm sorry I missed your recap from the Brandon Boudreau Laurie Devello trial. I'm going to see if I can catch that on replay after this. So if you're not following Joe Schmo, you should be subscribed. Joe Schmo is boots on the ground, all things Laurie Velo Daybell, and friend of the channel. Oh my God, so much housekeeping. Is Simi here? Hi, Simi. Where? Wait, what? Oh, there. Sorry, didn't mean to yell. Apologies. I'm just getting real excited. Why? I'm saying hi, Simi, okay? My scrolling abilities are really low level. Like, oh, wait, I need to put my glasses on. Simi, I thought you said I'm frying children. I was like, wait, what? That definitely says frying. Oh, chicken. Okay. I'll put my specs on. So anyway, on Sunday night, I think I might play tomorrow night. I think I might play the clip on Reasonable Doubt, really good, from JD Explains, just to make us understand, because people have been throwing a lot of, yeah, but OJ Simpson, and yeah, but Casey Anthony. Yeah, but Reasonable Doubt from a legal point of view. So that's a really cool thing. Anyway, shall we focus on now? Probably. Thanks for being here. Don't forget to hit the like. Love you all very much. That would be amazing. So, boom. That's what I'm talking about. I'm going to have to... I'll change that a little bit. Fuck glasses, that's right. Here we go. So, week 7. So, last night we did just Crash Daddy, right? The Crash Daddy edition. We still have the last little bit of Dr. Wolfe's... the first part of AJ's redirect of Dr. Wolfe, but we'll get to that at the end of this. Hopefully. No, we will. So let's go back to the start of the week. Day 25 was, thank you for putting his name because I can't remember, Jonathan Diamandis, friend of Proctor. Oof, this poor guy. On high school friend text chat. That's the leaky balloon knot chat, etc. Is this better? Let me see. Somewhat. I'll make that bigger. I don't know. I can't just get the slide. What the fuck? All I've got is the full thing. What the fuck? Ms. What the fuck? I should say Ms. What the fuck. Hang on. But let me make it bigger. That's what she said.
Do you want me to present the slide?
Yeah, you probably should because I don't know how to do it. Thanks, man. God, I'm just like this all the time. That's so much more nice. Mwah, profesh. So, that I said this last week, and we talked about his the voir dire of Jonathan. That I have a lot of respect for him. Coming, I mean, I know he was subpoenaed, but he had to, right? Hang on, let me put you here. He had to. And then he kind of, his flat affect, his very little intonation in his reading did good things for the Commonwealth. Not much good, but like it took a little bit of the sting out of it. What do you think? What the fuck?
I appreciate that, he was totally upfront and was like, yep, I'm embarrassed that this stuff is happening. And, he was straight up, I think. But I mean, the reality is that he was on all those texts. He didn't say anything in the texts.
No. Like Debbie Blair says, I have no sympathy for the friend. He is still friends with Proctor. After all, he's had to go through and see those vulgar texts, and he sends glasses. Fuck, Lisa. Sends course that could. Hey, you guys. Sorry, the dog's just ravaging each other. A way of life. Yes. Who knows? Also, the other thing. I mean, we'll get to it, I guess. But you didn't know who Liz is. Okay. So I can feel I try not to be binary on things, and I can feel empathy for people, even though, like, I mean, I have empathy for Coco Albert. So, doesn't have to be black or white, in my opinion, but that. So, do you have the clips for him? Because you know me, I've got stuff, but not your clips. I've got your slides as well, but you do them better. Who wore it better? Always Ms. What the fuck? Producer extraordinaire.
Yes. So I can pull up the testimony. Let me do that right now.
Beautiful. So also I've got a few things ready to go if we have time for when we get to the hero that is Barros, Sargent Barros. A couple of little things along the way, but I'll let you know as we get there. I couldn't find anything just clippy for this guy. So let's do it. Jonathan Proctor's middle school buddy.
Okay.
Maybe he was confused by Liz versus Lizzie. I mean, it could be someone else when you're talking about Michael Proctor, right? Maybe that's why he didn't know. Like, I'm not sure. Oh, Lizzie, right? Yes. Same. Gotcha.
Yeah. Let me skip through.
People can be very quick to judgment, can't they, on some things? And that's a bit tricky. Everybody makes mistakes, but if you keep making those mistakes, if you decide to stay friends with Michael Proctor through all of this, I mean, that's a choice. Also, the dogs might be, sorry to interrupt, but the dogs might be extra up in my grill today because I've closed my bedroom door because let's just say they've been marking their dismay at my live streaming occasionally in the bedroom on my bed. So they're not going into my room now because I don't need to wash all of everything, including mattress protectors and stuff, because I think it's Poppy decides to do a wee on the bed. This is disgusting. Right? Thank God it wasn't that fiddle, but fuck's sake, Poppy. I love you, but no. She used to do it when she was a little tiny puppy before Buster was around, so I'm pretty sure it's her.
Oh,
Can you hear me? Wait, can I do that? Unmute screen audio. Can't unmute your screen. Boom. Yes, Kraken, thank you. There's a lot of shame around stuff like that, but Poppy's just Poppy and she's highly anxious. We can see that in real time right now. And I know it's her. So I do blame you, Poppy. I don't blame you, but I accuse you of being the bed piddler. Yeah, I know it's you. So you can sit on your beds in here. Court says no. Court says we don't want to hear Bev. We don't want to hear Bev. Bev sucks. Big ones. Big hairy grandpa balls. Ruh-roh. Poppy, I don't like it. Guys, I'm just going to... You talk, what the fuck? Wait, no, I can't. You can't do that. You're trying to concentrate. Buster, I love you.
I'll talk. So this spot just is important because it gives the names Chip and Bear, so it authenticates that is his nickname. So if you were to go through the texts, you can actually, know for sure that that's who they're talking about is Proctor in the texts.
So wait, does anyone know? You motioned to screen what the fuck granted or chat? Why was Proctor listed as what was it? Something user and some numbers. Why wasn't he? Why was he even? I know it doesn't matter because it's all probably redacted anyway. But why wasn't his number there? Maybe he's got a new number. It's no longer in existence. Thoughts?
I think that was his extraction. So it was like coming from his phone.
See? Thanks. Gotcha. We don't have any volume though. Still no volume.
You can't hear it?
No.
Okay.
I don't think. Can chat hear it? Still no volume. Princey, he's in the blue bubble. Ha ha. Wait.
How did you get my digits? Question mark, question mark, question mark, question mark, question mark.
Your Honor, I would offer that
Yes.
for discussions.
Success.
Proctor made about one of his investigations.
There are.
Was it
Oh
about
God, Hank Brennan.
in those inappropriate comments, did other people on that text chain, not you, comment or respond to Mr. Proctor? Is that for a time period between October 18, 2021 and August 31st, 2022?
Yes.
I'd like you to look at the third text message that begins with Chip. Without saying who it is, do you recognize that as one of the people in the group?
I do.
And what did the person
Be.
Chip, name of that BPD cop.
and the time this conversation was happening, were you part of this immediate conversation?
I was not.
Turn the page. Bottom right number is ending in 28. Do you see that page?
Yes.
Okay. Instead of a name, there's a local user with an ID. Is that Mr. Proctor's?
Yes, it is.
And does he respond to Chip, name of that BPD cop?
He does.
What does he say?
John O'Keefe.
What is the next question from somebody in the group?
How old?
And what does Mr. Proctor respond?
He took custody of his sister's kids.
The next one?
She died of cancer and the father overdosed on her grave.
Oh, look at his face. He was like, wait, what I'm reading out loud right now is shit. That was pretty
Exactly.
despicable.
Exactly. And that's why I wanted to go to this one. And honestly, unless you want to, we don't have to watch like the rest of him because it's all just reading stuff we've heard, except for
Yeah,
the
we
okay. But I do have a clip, a reaction clip.
yes.
Okay,
Thank you.
pull that up.
Hi, Pammy. By the way, good to see you, girl.
And share this. And this is Runkle. Because of course
Sweet
it is.
uncle. No, the kids didn't know, Princey. If you were on Twitter, you would see. Hey, factual lie. Aiden Turtle Boy talked about the fact that they heard that they'd been kept, that information had been kept from their. And is it even? I mean, it's hearsay anyway. Is it the truth? I guess it must be due to the outrage. But yeah, the lows that Hank Brennan will stoop to have no depths, have no boundaries. Right? The limit does not exist.
Does he respond to Chip, name of that BPD cop?
He does.
What does he say?
John O'Keefe.
What is the next question from somebody in the group?
How old?
And what does Mr. Proctor respond?
He took custody of his sister's kids.
The next one?
She died.
So basically, the defense was allowed to call this guy to get the text messages in without calling Proctor. And at the beginning of the day, and Wolfe, no, I'm not going to clarify. That's the point. What Brennan is doing right now is he's trying to basically suggest to the jury that they should convict because John O'Keefe was a really nice guy. Lion says, please skip the next part for the sake of the family. Family's not watching
It's
this.
the appeal to pity.
This
Logical
has been
fallacy.
on a dozen streams that get way more viewership than I am, or than I do. The family's not watching this. But O'Keefe family, if you for some reason have managed to avoid this, and you are just watching this stream for some reason, skip ahead 30 minutes. So, yeah.
Died of cancer, and the father overdosed on her grave.
And then one of the group sends a message. What do they say?
Oh man, that's rough.
And what's Mr. Proctor's response?
I hate that man.
Mid 40s.
Does somebody in the group then post a Facebook posting?
Yes.
Do you know what that?
So that was purely to, this is purely to engender sympathy, and this should actually have been excluded, right? This should actually have been prevented, because there is none of what he's having this guy read has any relevance to the actual offense or non-offense, right? This just doesn't have any. And what he wants to do is basically hint to the jury, you should convict because it is a real tragedy that John O'Keefe is dead. And if I was Brennan, I would not have had him read
We wouldn't
this.
like you.
I put it this way: whenever I encounter defense lawyers, people ask me, like, how do you sleep at night? And I mean, I sleep badly at night, but not because of being a defense lawyer. It's just because my back is messed up and because my brain is attention deficit. But this is a moment that I would, like, if I was Brennan, I would regret this. But I don't think Brennan will. And this is sort of a moment when I just was like, oh shit, you went there, Brennan. This is a moment that made me think that, like, if Brennan had cancer and he thought my liver was the cure for it, he'd be over with, a bottle of Chianti in, the next 10 minutes. So, yeah,
Ring of Fire ADHD. Welcome.
That's a move I wouldn't play. Just
Neither.
full stop. Especially not in a full televised, thing like that. This is
fucking dirty.
This is ugly. And it's ugly and it's for an improper purpose. So, yeah.
Okay. So, yeah. Gross.
Amen, Runkle. Amen. Buster, please. I love you. Ah! He just my glass. Lick my glasses. See, I love you very much. Patricia, hi. Good to see you. That was hilarious that you came in to the Feral Friday last night when you did the most epic part of that movie. Hilarious. Frankenhooker. So good.
Okay.
Patricia, did you get your was that you? Fuck, now my brain. Pause. I don't think it was you. Ignore me. Rewind. Strike that. Yeah, strike that. Strike that. We've missed you, Patricia. All right, so day 25. Yes. Now, this fucking girl. So this bratty little brat. I did a couple of shorts on this. One of them I can't play, but it's the best because it's got music to it, but so good. There's 3. Let me see if I can. Here we go. Okay. And then I've got a cool reaction video that I found, which is what am I doing with my life? I'm not sure. Put your glasses back on. That's right. I was cleaning the dog lick off them. Scrolling. Here we go. Oh, and then my captions on my screen told me to put my glasses on. Thanks.
I've seen the footage. So yes, there were cameras.
All right, so hold on. So I'm going to strike that, officer. You have to answer the question based on your own independent knowledge. Okay? And if you don't have them, tell us. But you can't reference what you know from the movie.
All right. There were cameras in the Sally port.
Thank you.
So I think she's terrified. Hey, Donkey Snuggy, good to see you.
Ms. Dever,
Yes.
do you want to be here today?
I have no relation to this case, so
Oh,
I asked you
shit.
that. I asked you if you want to be here today.
Objection. This isn't direct.
So
Fuck
it's your
off.
witness.
I understand.
She can, no comments, just questions. Not, I understand that.
Do you want to be here today now?
I am put on the stand in a murder trial. I don't know why I'm here. I have no connection to this case.
You have no idea why you're here?
You've never talked to me. Nobody on the fence seems to talk to me since prior to the first trial. So I don't have any idea why I'm here.
No clue whatsoever, as you sit here, why you might have been called to the stand.
No.
Are you uncomfortable testifying?
No, it's part of my job.
You're a professional police officer, correct?
Correct.
That means you're a professional witness to a certain degree, correct?
In the crimes that I've gone on the stand before, yes, I have been.
And you understand the oath?
Yes, I do.
What is that oath?
Wait, did that?
The oath is to tell the truth.
No, it's not.
The whole truth and nothing but the truth, correct?
Objection.
Sustained.
I'll rephrase it. Is there more to that oath when you raise your right hand as a witness?
I'm objecting.
So I'm going to see it's.
I'm objecting. Okay, Hank. And this one's the better one, I think. No, this is interesting. So you know how long she waited? Wait, she paused and took up her brain, like the fighting in her brain to answer the question. It's 19 seconds. I timed it. Wait, fuck. Share this tab instead. Full screen. Go. Why is there no sound?
Batch area? Did it show the video footage or the video feed from the Sallyport garage?
So I already said I don't remember where in dispatch the screen with the cameras was.
Lies.
There was
Lies.
a camera in the Sally port. So if I'm going to make the assumption, then yes, of course. But now that's an assumption.
I'm not asking you for an assumption now. I'm asking you, did one of the feeds, now we've talked about the camera, the other side of the camera is the feed. do you recall whether or not there was footage that you could see on a monitor in the dispatch area that showed the Sally port?
Another spice. Another spice.
I'm going to go with yes.
Okay.
Like clarification.
How long?
So
Can I have a-
I don't know what that means. So what do you mean you're going to go with yes? Is your answer yes?
Yes.
Thank you.
19 seconds. Salty, hi, good to see you. Good, looking forward to our chat in a little bit, in a couple of hours, 8 Eastern-ish. No, 8 Eastern, definitely. Yes, she is related to Matt McCabe. Her, what was it? I shared it in the Discord. Something, it's like her grandfather is Matt McCabe's uncle, something like that. I think. Yeah, wow. So wait, then let me see if I can. Nope. 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 Why? Oh my god, of course I haven't got it up, pulled up. Hang on. Uno momento. I do. No, I do. Just not even many tabs. So this is a channel that's a little like a bit like a Aussie Insider was at this, or still is sometimes, but mashups. And I happened upon this. So it's longish. We'll watch some. We'll watch it.
Hear ye, hear ye, hear ye. All persons having
called
anything to do
next
before the
witness.
Honorable Beverly Canoni, Justice of the Superior Court, holding in Dedham
The
within and North County of
Lawtuber
Norfolk.
react.
Draw near, give your attendance, and you shall be heard. God save
Put it
the
up a little
Commonwealth
bit.
of Massachusetts. This court is in session. Please be seated.
Good morning. Could you state your name and spell your last name for the hearers, please?
Kelly Dever, last name Deveer.
And what do you do for a living?
I'm a police officer.
Nothing like an unfriendly witness to really get your morning going.
Oh, y'all, I'm sure this witness isn't thrilled to be here.
Do you want to be here tonight?
She does not want to be there at all.
She's already like, I do not want to be there. I do not want to testify. I do not want to answer your questions.
I have no relation to this case, so.
I asked you that. I asked you if you want to be here tonight.
Objection. This isn't direct.
I am sure she's not thrilled.
So it's your witness.
Okay.
She can, no comments, just questions, not I understand.
That is a
Do you
question.
want to be here today now?
It's your witness. Oh boy, we're having like the defense attorneys defense attorneying at each other.
This is the
You
channel.
want to be here
You wanna
today?
subscribe. They've got
Obviously
1.3
not.
thousand subscribers.
I'm put on the stand in a murder trial. I don't know why I'm here. I have no connection to this case.
You've never talked to me. You didn't tell me why you're putting me on the stand.
You have no idea why you're here?
It's just not true.
She's gonna say things later on that makes it real clear that is not truthful.
I've been subpoenaed. You're making me come, and I don't want to be here.
You know exactly what your connection is to this case. Is going to be evidenced by your meeting with the police commissioner. So these things are definitely not true. She crushes her own credibility immediately.
It's obvious she doesn't want to be here. Just say, no, I don't want to be here. I have no connection to this case. I don't know why I'm here.
But again, this is a defense witness that they are calling for a specific statement.
It's where we brought prisoners, so there would be cameras, yes.
Okay, you're saying there would be cameras. I'm asking
Yes.
you, were there?
Are there cameras?
According to the media, yes. I've seen the footage, so yes, there were cameras.
Does she not know anything?
So I'm going to strike that, officer. You have to answer the question based on your own independent.
Can you give us a big old sigh there, huh?
Reference what you know from me.
Ruthie, hey.
Am I going crazy, or did she just do that?
She did a head roll and an eye roll, and then she let out a sigh to the judge.
To the judge. To the judge, she sighed like that, and Bev is like just
OG
taking it on the
Ruthie.
chin. Are you kidding me? Any judge in the universe would be like, I'm sorry, did you just sigh at me?
And that's another thing too. And no real judge would allow this bullshit to occur in their courtroom.
But Bev has no self-respect for herself because she realizes the level that she had to stoop to in order to protect the Alberts, and she hates herself for it.
All right.
Okay. Okay.
All this animosity that Dever has towards Jackson is being redirected towards Bev. And Bev is just like, hit me again.
Bev said you have to testify to not what you saw at the media, not from what it's got to be from you. And here she goes. Listen for it.
And if you don't have them, tell us. But you can't reference what you know from the movie.
Again, another one.
All right.
Another 3 times.
There were cameras in the Sally port.
That's it. How hard was that?
There were cameras in the Sally port.
Thank you. That's all. Is it so hard to say that?
Did one of the monitors that you looked at, that you had access to at the dispatch area, did it show video footage of the video feed from the Sally Port garage?
This is just a simple question of where were the cameras? What did they show you? And it seems like the kind of thing she would just naturally remember. But she is oddly unable to answer some questions that you might think she would know.
So I already said I don't remember where in dispatch the screen with the cameras was.
And if you're working the 911 switchboard and a lieutenant tells you to go and work it, he's not going to send somebody that is incompetent. So for her to say that after 3 years, it's really not clear to her, that is, I wish I had a bullshit button, because I would hit that fucking button like a madman right now, because this shit pisses me off because she's lying through her teeth.
Do you recall whether or not there was footage that you could see on a monitor in the dispatch area that showed the Sally?
19 seconds.
Going to go with yes.
Okay.
She doesn't remember.
No, that wasn't so look, I don't know what that means. So what do you mean you're going to go with yes? Is your answer yes?
She doesn't remember.
1 minute, 37 seconds later.
Or she doesn't want to say.
Yes.
Thank you. What time about
Holy
did you take
freaking
over the
tea.
I don't know if I'm gonna make it, dude. I don't know if I'm gonna make it, bro. She knows what she wants to say. I think she knows what she's told to say, and I think right there for about 10 seconds she was debating. What you saw right there was her, like, literally career flashing before her eyes.
So we've discussed this previously. I can't make that statement on the stand because I've been provided information released by the defense that it was a distorted memory. Therefore, I can't state it because at this point it would be a lie. So it was a willing conversation. I've spoken with their legal team because of the fact I was provided factual information that showed a statement of mine was a false memory. It was not a lie. Therefore, I made it in good faith and I retracted given information that it could not be accurate.
Ms. Edwards, did you understand my question?
I've spoken with their legal team. Isn't their legal team like the U.S. Attorney's Office?
Help me out. You don't. You don't have a false recollection. You know what you saw.
Ma'am, can we get back to I don't even know why I'm here? Because it seems that you do know why you're here.
So she had a conversation, right? And she made all these statements, which we're going to hear even more. And then all of a sudden now she's saying, oh, it was all a false memory.
Oh, I love his cap.
How can it be a false memory, right?
It's giving you know exactly why you're here and you don't like it.
I'm telling you, you remember stuff, man. You remember stuff. And you regurgitate it because you want to tell somebody. Yeah.
She remembered it specifically because Higgins was a witness in that case. So she added details to her false memory, which is just hard to understand.
Right? Especially when they ask you a question. What do you see? Well, I saw Brian Higgins come in with a chief. You know, they went to the Sally Port and hung out. Not a big deal. Yeah, that's not a lie. That's not a false memory. She's trying to smart her way out of it, but she can't outsmart Jackson. No, and it's only going to get worse, G.
Let's continue.
Yes, I did. You threatened to charge me with perjury during our phone call.
What?
Okay, first of all, the defense attorneys cannot charge you with perjury. That's not how it works. You're a police officer. The fact that you don't know that troubles me.
She knows as a cop. That's bullshit. They can't lock her up. They can't charge her. Only the police can arrest you, or the DA's office can arrest you, and only the DA's office can charge you.
Jackson wasn't going to charge her with perjury because Jackson can't.
No, Emily, back up. You threatened Jackson can't charge you with shit. He's no longer a district attorney.
Let's talk about the roles of defense counsel and what we can and cannot do, because I can tell you for free, one of the powers I do not have and Jackson does not have and any other defense counsel does not have is the power to charge anyone with perjury.
Wow. You threatened to charge me with perjury. This is why it's hard to call a witness when you don't know what they're going to say.
Is this Karen Cole? The next witness is her channel.
She has been prepped by someone to say this.
I know about that.
I do not find what she is saying to be credible.
Did you have a conversation?
Karen Cole's
with
channel
anybody
is Karen Cole, but if it is Karen,
the commissioner's office.
Oh,
Boston Police Department.
Amazing.
Not about anything malicious.
The channel's called The Next Witness. I don't think it's Karen.
Not the Jen McCabe. There's nothing nefarious answer.
I didn't use the word malicious. Why do you say malicious?
I love that out of Jackson. I didn't say nefarious. Why did you say nefarious? I didn't say malicious. Why did you say malicious? I love it.
Not about anything malicious.
That wasn't the question.
Why do you say malicious?
Not about anything malicious. That wasn't the question.
Karen
It
Cole's
was my
from the UK.
department saying, regardless of what I need to say on the stand, they support me.
Right. Regardless of what you need to say on the stand, so you did talk to your department about it.
Yeah. Boston Police Commissioner Michael Cox calls her into her office, and then all of a sudden, she gets amnesia.
Do the right thing, and the Boston PD supports you. Wink, nod, say no more. Say no more.
No matter what, we support you. It's like, were there any winks during
That
that
was
meeting? That's what I would ask.
loyally.
There's nothing weird about that until you make it weird.
When you're a rookie police officer coming from the Canton Police who's about to give testimony harmful to the prosecution, and the commissioner just says, I know they want you from the defense, but you don't worry, you just do the right thing.
How is that not tampering with a witness?
You want to keep working here? You're going to do the right thing. We'll support you. We'll get you a lawyer. We'll get you out of your lie to the feds.
If you don't think that's coercive or a message,
In my heart of hearts and
No, you're right.
my police sense tingling, somebody got to her.
I don't know what to say to you. That's a lot more coercive than saying I was
That's
threatened
going
by
with
Alan
COVID
Jackson to be
today. Come on
charged with
now.
perjury.
A year ago, she told the defense team over the phone that he said two things to her, right? We're going to support you no matter what your testimony is and do the right thing.
Officer Deaver, do the right thing. Now look at her face, bro. Look at the contempt on her face, dog.
She's
So
like
he
a
said my name correctly. He said Dever.
teenager.
And
How old is she? 27?
so Mr. Jackson, let's go.
Don't cut off Mr. Jackson, okay?
So he said my name correctly. He said Dever. And
He said my name correctly. He said Dever.
I have never in my life seen a witness get so upset. First of all, he pronounced my name correctly, unlike you. Second of all he said was, I'm dying. I am dying.
She is definitely doing it to be a jerk in this situation, to try and make him look bad.
The fact that she corrected Jackson from the witness stand is unprecedented, folks.
What a
Yes,
bitch.
like you can't remember my name. I don't remember.
I can remember your name.
Oh, yeah.
Like you can't remember my name. I don't remember.
I can remember.
So the answer is I don't remember. No comment.
Damn.
Just like you don't
This is
remember
the
my
best?
name, I don't remember. Well, the difference, honey, is that your name doesn't matter at all.
I love Andrea so much.
Whose name I'm already Deaver, Denver, Dover, Deaver, my brain has already buffered.
Boston police officer Kelly, don't call her Deaver, Dever.
Officer Deveray.
Nobody gives a shit who you are or how your name is pronounced.
I mean,
Devere.
You are not actually the main character in any of this.
I mean, deviled eggs. Like you're not the important person. Nobody cares what your name is. I mean, whatever her name is, who cares?
You're immaterial.
No comments.
More than that, Judge. I think we all.
All right, so no comments. Just
And he's clapping back at the judge, Jackson. And now the judge is talking over Jackson, clapping back at the judge. We're doing that one more time. Too many people were talking.
You're a police officer, correct?
Yes.
Who charges people with crimes?
Right.
Karen.
You're a cop, right? Yeah. You know how crimes get charged, right?
Ever seen a defense attorney charge anybody with a crime?
So you can see by reporting someone for
Look at
it.
Karen's
Have you ever seen a
face.
defense attorney charge someone with a crime, ma'am?
Personally, no.
It's like, because it can't happen, ma'am.
Fact of the matter is, nobody ever threatened you with perjury, did they?
Oh, they did. Yes.
That's
I
a-
contacted the FBI regarding it.
Oh, did you?
I did.
You have a report?
That's awesome.
The FBI! The FBI! The FBI!
I contacted the FBI regarding it.
Oh, did you?
I did.
The FBI.
I have
Why
an
would you
email
chat with the
conversation where I
FBI?
sent the two questions I had.
Just whoop. There it is.
She responded, I will pass these along. I was contacted by their legal team. They reassured me perjury was not applicable.
I find that really hard to believe that the FBI's legal team told her perjury is off the table.
Right? Girl.
Because I made a statement in good faith. Upon further information, I retracted it, corrected it, and made it clear that I could no longer say it because I knew that it was not a clear
Give
reflection of the
this
events that took
channel a
place.
follow, right? And
Yes.
subscribe. Next
You have a report
witness.
from the FBI saying that you
That's a mouthful. Sounds like a no.
She's only got
saying that you were with
1.33
someone on the Pyramid
thousand
team
for
threatened to
1,300
charge you
subscribers. Who
with
is subscribed?
perjury.
No.
I think it's a girl.
No.
Might be a boy. I don't know.
Did you watch any of the trial, this trial?
Clips in passing, but no, it's 6 hours a day. So I work during the day shift.
Ma'am, we all find time.
Now I can tell you, I work during the day, and I still end up watching 6 hours of this.
Also, if the chat hadn't turned yet, she's like, it's 6 hours a day. I have a job. Right. We do too. This is our job. We're on jury duty. We're professionals.
Fuck
When
you
you look
guys.
at Dever, what are the two things that the jury's going to remember? Number one, she told the Fed that Berkowitz and Higgins were in the Sally Port the day of this incident. And the other thing there's three things. The other thing you're going to remember is she then claimed that never happened. I just made it up by accident. And then, of course, the third thing you're going to remember is her atrocious demeanor.
So why did you come in here?
She's going to lose her job.
My entire job revolves around what I say on the stand right now. If I was to lie, I lose my job.
Isn't that kind of the defense point?
I lose everything.
Boom.
I'm here to tell.
If you tell the truth, you lose everything and you lose your job.
Your Honor, one question. that sentence. AJ wrote down that sentence as fast as I did. My entire job revolves around what I say on the stand here.
Now we know the stakes are high for her. The stakes are high.
Your entire job.
She told the FBI the truth. Then she had to walk it back and say it was a false memory.
Why would she be at all worried about what she has to say here on the stand? It's only her livelihood.
And now she's telling you that if she comes in, if she lies, her entire life is at stake.
Pretty good, huh? Give that channel a subscribe. The Next Witness. That video's got 22. They've gotten 30 extra subscribers today. I hope that was all of you guys. Shorty. 22,000 views for a 1.3 thousand subscriber channel. That's pretty good. That's how Aussie Insider started out. Her subscribers are up by 10,000 in the last trial, 15,000, and still growing. So, Tony, for me, Dever raised the most questions in the trial. Just subscribe. Amazing. I went to see if there was any. There's other mashups, but they're from like there's a Bukenic one. Anyway, a bunch of other ones. Here, let me see. Let me show you. Oh my God, what am I doing with my life? I don't even know. The Next Witness. Here, this. So there's a Bukenic one, Shannon Burgess 1 and 2, Lucky Loughran. Wait. Oh, so there you go. I didn't look at all of them. I just saw the homepage. Cool. Okay, well, we might play another couple of them as we get through. So there's a Lucky Loughran one, Kelly Dever. We'll play the Lucky one when we get to Lucky. Right. Okay. Ms. What the fuck? Are you there?
I am here.
Yes, amazing. So I think that's all we need to say about Kelly Dever, right, girl?
Yeah, she's a hot mess.
She is. If anybody wants to see another video about her, an analysis, I think it's about 14 minutes long. It's from JD, a lawyer explains. I remembered how to say it. He does a great little breakdown of how she basically fucked herself for the rest of her life. She can never be a credible witness again because of that false memory claim. She's basically giglioed, like she's you're done here. Play the
Damage.
Fix Is In, Steph. We'll play it in a little bit. It's a good one. If you haven't heard The Fix Is In, it's my most recent Karen Reed song, and I kind of love it. I think Sit Down Weasel Demon takes the cake, but it's got just over 1,000 views now. So go in there and watch it, listen to it, get it in your head, share it out, comment. Thanks. Okay, thanks. Bye. So we got. Do you have memory problems?
So
Russell is a queen.
Yes, the Swiss Army badass. She has it all.
Yes.
So she started on day 25 with those first couple of witnesses, and so she did her direct and then started with her cross. So there's a couple of things that we can cover there, or we can jump into day 26 where we do get that's where the gas comes in, and a bunch more of the fireworks jump in at 26.
Shall we do day 26? I mean, I don't know about everybody else, but I've watched it a few times. So yeah, let's do the spicy stuff. My summation of Dr. Marie Russell is that she was unflappable. She was a queen. You could tell she didn't shift her demeanor, although she wasn't nearly as smiley as encouraging, obviously, to Hank Brennan as she was to Robert Alessi. And I'm proud of her. I think she started off a little wobbly at the start of day 20. The start of the next day, right? She was a little bit wobbly, and then she came back. She kind of found her feet, is my recollection.
Yeah, I think that's a good way to say it. All right, I'm just pulling up the testimony. And there we go. So this is, I think I forgot to say this was Trial Channel. Our friend.
Yes, our friend, the Trial Channel.
Okay. Just get this going. Let me know if you can hear it or if I have to redo it.
I asked who helped you with the report.
We can hear it. Yes.
I said Mr. Leslie.
Is Mr. Leslie, is that gentleman the attorney who asked questions on direct examination?
Yes.
Okay. And so, did Mr. Leslie help you with your report?
What I recall is we discussed it, but I recall that it was someone else that actually helped me rearrange the report. That's my memory right now.
Is your memory different now than it was last December?
Well, I don't think so, but you have something in writing.
Do you think you would have testified that if it was an
I don't. Mr. Alessi did not help write the report. He may have helped organize and make a suggestion about what is training versus what is experience, but he did not help me write the report.
Do you have any help trying to describe methodology?
No.
Do you have any help talking about differential diagnosis?
No, I'm very familiar with differential diagnosis.
And so after that report was written, is there any reason why some of your...
That's my washing machine in the background finishing
I
its
don't
cycle.
believe my opinions have changed.
When you testified at the hearing last year, June 21st, 2024, did you express that you couldn't say with 100% certainty what type of animal, in your opinion, caused those wounds?
100% certainty, that is absolutely correct. And I'd like to see that, but yes, I
Yes,
that's my recollection.
yes.
The recollection, I'm happy to
Good
show you
girl.
what
Yes,
you
please.
testified to. You want to
Yes,
see it again?
yes.
Okay. And by the way, between last night and today, did you get any advice from anybody suggesting you should ask for a transcript when I ask you a question? Did that advice come your way?
That's my general advice from previous times.
Well, did you have any advice last night about that?
Yes.
Who told you last night that you should always ask for a transcript when I'm asking you questions?
Well, I think it was just Mr. Lessie.
So did you and Mr. Leslie, you know there's a sequestration order, don't you?
Get the
Yes.
fuck out of
A
here.
sequestration order that you're not supposed to discuss the case at all with anybody?
Well,
during the-
we didn't discuss specifics.
Do you know that the sequestration order mandates that you not discuss anything about the case from when you start your testimony until you end your testimony? You know that, right?
I understand that there is a sequestration order.
Do you understand the sequestration order mandates that you're not supposed to speak to people, including the attorney?
Okay, I do
Right,
love.
Princey? Sorry, go.
I was just gonna say I do love that they both stumble over that word because I dared you
Yes.
to say it.
Yes.
Can-
Yes. I think she's just so perplexed. Look at her facial right now on that pause. Like, what? Same as Dr. Wolfe. Like, wait, what are you asking me here?
Right.
And
Exactly.
I was going to say, Princey, you can say Hank is an ass, and Simi, you can say Hank is a gaslighter in this chat, even though in another chat you were reprimanded, a very big chat, for stating those things. Objectively, Hank is an ass, and objectively, Hank is a gaslighter. So carry on, Ms. What the fuck.
Attorneys about this case overnight. Did you understand that?
There were no specifics discussed.
Or did you understand that you weren't supposed to, is what I'm asking? Did you know that's a violation of the sequestration
No, I did
order
not.
to speak to the attorneys overnight?
I did not know that that particular conversation would be a violation.
So did you meet with attorney Alessi last night?
No.
How was it that you had a conversation with him?
Actually, it might have been in the vehicle.
You drove together?
Yes.
So did you commute to and from court together with attorney Alessi?
There's a driver.
Okay. Who else was in the car when you left court yesterday?
The driver.
When
Oh,
you-
no, I wasn't with him yesterday. No. Not in the car yesterday. No.
Well, you just said that you spoke to attorney Alessi yesterday. And I'm trying to figure out when was it that you were having conversations with Mr. Alessi relative to the sequestration order that you're under?
This morning, riding to court
Okay, so you and attorney Alessi drove to court?
with the limo driver. Yes.
Who was in the limo with you and attorney Alessi on the way to court today?
That was just us.
I wonder if it was
you
a
two?
limo. I know they travel in
What else did you-
limos. I know they do travel in limos sometimes, but it's interesting that then when Dr. Wolfe mentioned that he came to court with it was an SUV, not a limo. I wonder if that's just her parlance and that she just was sort of using limo as a generic thing, or if it actually was a limo. She is a
I
queen.
I think it was definitely an SUV, just because. Well, you can see them arrive at court every day, and they're always in SUVs. So I can't imagine it was actually a limo. That would be shocking. And I
She
actually,
is a queen, though. I mean, I would put Dr. Marie Russell in a limo, but that's just me.
she is a
She grabbed
down to earth queen, though.
She is. No, yes. I mean, queen in the most regal, but she's the people's queen, right?
Yes.
She's not. She's not. I mean, she certainly doesn't have the number of titles that I do, but that's fine. Who can?
That is very, very true. Very true.
Yeah, I feel like they came in limos in the last trial. Am I imagining that? Maybe I am. Lots of footage. It probably was just a big old SUV. There it is.
Yeah.
That's me. Hi, it's me. Thanks. What the fuck?
But you can see them arrive every day in the in footage from people that are streaming the standing, the people that stand out. So you can watch them arrive every day, and they're in SUVs. So
right. Hank knows that, but see, the jury wouldn't know that because they wouldn't see them arrive. So the jury's just hearing, oh, a limo lighting
Right.
up. Hank hopes.
Yeah.
Anyway, I found that interesting when Dr. Wolfe said SUV. It was like, oh, good, corrected that parlance.
Yeah.
People talk about other than that you should ask for a transcript every time I ask you a question.
That's what we talked about specific to this case.
Was it a long conversation?
No, not at all.
The entire ride here, there must be more you spoke about other than just a sequestration order.
We did. We spoke about Boston, how I love Boston.
He loves it.
Area. We spoke about New York. We spoke about other things. And in fact, I have to say that even on the ride back to the hotel yesterday with others in the car, nobody spoke about the case.
But I'm talking about this morning when you did speak about the case. What else? Not about the Red Sox or the weather. What else did you talk to Attorney Alessi about this morning other than you should ask for a transcript every time I ask you a question?
We talked about what I did last night.
About this case?
No,
I'm sorry, but I'm asking about this case.
That was it.
I want to know what all the discussions were between you and this attorney today or last night about this case.
Just that I should ask for a transcript.
Well, there must have been some concept. There must have been some context. He didn't just turn to you talking about the weather and say, hey, you should ask for a transcript. He must have been talking about something.
He also generally, not today, but generally says, be honest. Always be honest.
Fantastic. But this morning about
fantastic.
What did he tell you? Did he tell you this morning you should be honest?
Not this morning.
Does anybody need to remind you to be honest when you testify?
No.
What else did he tell you? Come on. Hey, by the way, ask for transcripts.
I don't even know how it came up. I didn't put much significance to it.
Thanks, Percy.
It was just moments ago it happened because you just got to court. You can't remember the context of the sage advice of Attorney Alessi?
No.
You have any memory issues?
Oh.
May I approach?
Yes.
When I was, because I always say this all the time, but because I was listening, not watching, and I actually thought that because I was watching with Andrea Burkhart or listening, and I thought that was Andrea who gasped like that, and then I hopped on Twitter and saw all of the little grabs of it, and I was like, oh my goodness, and I went back and watched. So yeah, the gasp.
Speaking of Andrea, I did pull a little reaction to talk a little bit about that if you want to watch.
Yes, please. Love. Donkey's Noggin, cheers. Cheers, Donkey's Noggin. If it wasn't 8:15 in the morning, I too would be drinking. Bottoms up.
That conversation with Alessi about looking for the transcript and the implication that violates the sequestration order. I would have liked to have seen that objected to. I'd be objecting to it. It doesn't violate the order. You haven't asked for any sort of remedy. You haven't asked for her to be found in contempt. You haven't asked for Alessi to be found in contempt. You haven't asked for any type of sanction. You haven't asked to strike or limit her testimony as a result of the violation. Nothing. There is no violation because there doesn't seem to be a written sequestration order. There's just a grant of sequestration under the rule, and the rule is limited to testimony. You can't observe the testimony of other witnesses. So nothing says they can't have a conversation about whether it might be prudent to ask for the transcript if you're being, told that you said something before. But hard to know how that kind of thing sits with the jury. Does that land? Do they sit there and think, ooh, how shady of that defense team to have that conversation? Really hard to say. A little slip
Yes,
out there about the
cracking.
limo driver. They were in the car with a limo driver. Don't know how that's going to sit either. You know, caught my attention. A limo, huh? Some people who are, you know, maybe a little more judgy might be like, what are you doing in a limo? Could also just be a figure of speech, you know. You have a car that's being driven by somebody else and dropping you off. It's like town car type service, but a town car is, you know, not necessarily a limo. Probably rarely a limo, but sometimes. Sometimes a Lincoln is a limo. So then, you know, and then as through part of that, don't you have memory? Do you have any memory issues? What an asshole. God, he's just such a dick. And so it makes me wonder if he undoes his own work a lot of times with some of that stuff. Like you might have found a thread there that you could pull on to make it sound like the defense and Dr. Russell are being real shady about you know, coaching her testimony or so forth. You might have had something there, but then I feel like you go and undo that work by being an uncalled for asshole like that. Do you have any memory issues?
Absolutely, Andrea. Yes, thank you. That's a good one. Yeah, Hank twisting narratives again, right? Kraken. Hank is continuously, he just states bullshit stuff to the court, to like in and out of the presence of the jury, and it's so many. Even that hilarious. What witness was that? Lucky, when he tried to impeach him, but he didn't have the prior testimony, and he just clips his binders and flips his binders, and it's wild. And also Kraken said in Boston, a limo means a town car. So I guess the jurors would have understood that probably. Whereas like Andrea didn't even know that in Boston they say wicked, like wicked smart. So Andrea's from the other side of the country. Steph might be drinking. Also to you, ma'am, bottoms up. Are you having vodka and Ribena, Steph? Steph, wait, sidebar. Steph, when I was talking about, when Shelley wondered what black currants were last week, and then we had a conversation about Ribena and black currants, and I mentioned Ribena as being a black currant drink. Steph, in her infinite wisdom, perhaps inebriation, got online and found Ribena for sale, and then when it arrived, she's like, I forgot I ordered this. So I hope you're having it with vodka, girl. Although it's good just as is, God's nectar.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Sorry, I was
drunk. Ordered Ribena. No, go.
I'm paying attention. I promise.
You don't need to pay attention to my drivel. Just sidebar.
Okay. So I found the next one. So I skipped a bunch of stuff because it's impactful. Yes, time. Yes. It is time. So I kind of jumped forward to something else I thought was really impactful is that this part. And then I do have a follow-up reaction thing if you want to see it. But
yes.
Good point.
Impact or collision in this case.
Oh, are you referring to what you've asked me previously about did I hit him or something of that? What do you mean specifically?
Have you seen any of the media statements by the defendant, 2020 Nightline docuseries? Have you seen any of these statements in your analysis of whether or not there was a impact or collision between the defendant and her Lexus and Mr. O'Keefe? Have you seen any of those?
I did see some statements, but that was after I rendered my opinion.
And some of those statements after you rendered your opinion, did some of those statements come from the defendant herself?
Yes.
And when you listen to those statements, did you hear any of them talk about the idea or issue of collision or impact?
Yes.
And when you listen to those statements after you formed your opinions, did in any way change the analysis of your opinion?
Absolutely not. And I'll tell you why.
Please do.
Because
Hank.
She had, the defendant had undergone a very stressful event, finding her loved one in the snow. And so after a stressful event, many people suffer from what's called an acute grief reaction. It's very common. And they do things that seem to be irrational. They ramble. They act bizarrely. They make statements that are irrational, that don't make sense. And they oftentimes tend to blame themselves for whatever has happened. I've seen this many, many, many times in the emergency department.
Does this happen moments after a stressful event?
Oh, yes.
Does it happen months later when you go on 2020 or Nightline?
I've never seen that situation.
No. Does it happen a year later when you go and speak to documentarians and be interviewed? Is that the same kind of condition you see a year later, year and a half later?
A grief reaction can last years. It usually is very brief, but it can last years.
Yes, and suck it, Hank. Suck it, Hank. Own goal.
I know he teed it up right for her. It was like he was just, giving it to her. Like, here, have this gift of, making your own point. It's beautiful.
Beautiful. Chef's kiss. Which is, honestly, I'm still going to go with Hank is trying to tank it. The Commonwealth is trying to tank it, in my opinion, but with a lot of pomp and fanfare as to what their goal is. I mean, it's win. It's win if she gets convicted, but I don't think that's what their goal is.
I'm not gonna lie. Like every time something like this comes up, every time there's another weird thing, I'm like, I think he might be doing this on purpose. Like I think this might actually be on purpose. It's so bizarre.
Yeah, and he's cunning enough, right? He's cunning, and he can't be that stupid. Like he can't be. There's been too many things. Hank own goals in terms of that kind of questioning, and then there's like all the bullshit when they'll bring in the evidence with the shoe and the extra taillight pieces and so much stuff. Hey, Storm, good to see you. And Holly, hi, good to see you also. So we got some reacts. Yes, good. Bob and Ali Mata.
After you formed your opinions, did in any way change the analysis of your opinion?
Absolutely not. And I'll tell you why.
Please do.
Because the defendant had undergone a very stressful event, finding her loved one in the snow. And so after a stressful event, many people suffer from what's called an acute grief reaction. It's very common. And they do things that seem to be irrational. They ramble. They act bizarrely. They make statements that are irrational, that don't make sense. And they oftentimes tend to blame themselves for whatever has happened. I've seen this many, many, many times in the emergency department.
Does this happen moments after a stressful event?
Oh, yes.
Does it happen months later when you go on 2020 or Nightline?
I've never seen that situation.
No. Does it happen a year later when you go and speak to documentarians and be interviewed? Is that the same kind of condition you see a year later, year and a half later?
A grief reaction can last years.
Pause it.
It's usually it's very brief.
Pause it.
It can last years.
This is exactly why he is not allowed to use those fucking clips out of context. He's acting like she was still thinking it a year later when all the clips he's using is her explaining why she said it that night. This is a fucking outrage. I hope he feels gaslit by that, but I don't think it's going to come back to bite him.
It's going to have to come. It's going to have to come on summation. Exactly what you were just saying.
But they don't have if they don't get those other pieces of the video in, the report in, the interviews in, they don't see that it is her explaining. I was yelling that when he used it. When he closed with that video, I was like, fucking bullshit, because
how do they do that?
They have to get in the earlier portions of it. I think it's under the
completeness doctrine.
Completeness doctrine, yeah.
I don't know. All
right, you guys,
I agree completely. Everything being taken out of context is fucking insane. I don't know how they're going to get him in, short of her getting on the stand.
Now,
Just a quick one. I think it's a good point, though.
Yep. Yeah. Hey, one's in the chat. I don't think there'll be many. If you think Karen's going to testify, one's in the chat. She doesn't need to. I think Karen has already had her voice. 0, Micah. 0 exactly. 2. No, I don't think she needs to. I don't think she was ever going to testify. I mean, for my own self, I'd love to see if there would be no ramifications from that. It'd be great. Wouldn't it be great to see feisty Karen going up against fucking Hank? It'd be amazing.
In a debate,
Yes. If
That
it
would
wasn't,
be-
if there weren't, her life wasn't on the line, of her
Yes.
life, liberty, and her, everything. I just think it that would be. I think she could give. It would get fiery. I think. There's
Yeah.
no reason to testify. Exactly. There was never any reason to testify, even with all those variety show clips that Hank insisted on bringing in. Yeah. Nope.
Yeah.
Nope.
I think if Bev wasn't the one that wasn't the mediator in that type of debate, it would be fantastic.
Mediator, bold of you to use that word.
Really trying to find Ugh,
she's
a something.
She's a something. She's a drunk. I don't know. Some of I mean, maybe she's tired because these big long weeks and big long days that Bev puts in. But she's looking really raggedy, and I can say as someone whose nightly drinking has increased steadily over the last 6 months or so. I think I feel a bit like Bev in the mornings and look a bit ragged like Bev. I mean, maybe she's self-medicating because she's a piece of shit and she's trying to numb that sensation. Bev is exhausted. Simmy's eating her yummy children because you were frying children. Call back to the start of the show.
Yeah. So I think the last, I mean, it's all important, don't get me wrong, but considering time, the last huge part I think would be shareable here would be the motion to dismiss that Bev said, yeah, okay, whatever, too, if you would like to watch Alessi Be Beautiful.
I would love to watch Alessi Be Beautiful.
I figured you would.
Just like one last Hail Mary that was never going to be because Bev is the devil.
Indeed.
Now, when you...
Those were swapped for DNA.
If we have exhibit 147B, please. On the right arm, there were a number of different tears in that fabric that you looked at, weren't there?
Yes, there were a number of small round holes in that
You're
fabric.
aware, aren't you, that those holes were swabbed for traces of dog DNA?
Okay, come on out.
All right, this is when she sniffs her armpit? No.
Your Honor. Attorney Brennan, just with regard to Dr. Russell, in open court in front of the jury, used the concept of DNA in this case. He has introduced it and brought it in for the very first time in front of the jury.
Can you please put the closed captions down the bottom?
He intentionally brought up DNA. Based upon that intentional mention, the defense moves strongly, vigorously for a mistrial with prejudice. A mistrial with prejudice. There has been no mention in this trial of DNA with regard to the topic or with regard to what Mr. Brennan has raised. There has been none. Specifically, the
Pause for a sec,
prosecution
motion to screen what the fuck that is, please. Just very momentarily. Alessi has no notes here. He's just speaking from the heart. There's nothing there on that lectern. So carry on, sir.
Trial had a witness, Terry Kuhn, with regard to DNA. For whatever reason, the prosecution has chosen not to bring that witness in who would testify perhaps to DNA. As a result of that strategic decision that the prosecution made, there's been no mention. I want to be very clear. The defense has been incredibly assiduous and meticulous about not mentioning DNA in any fashion, directly or indirectly. With regard to the hoodie shirt and the hole, the only thing that was adduced in direct examination was a mechanical function simply of Dr. Russell testifying that a dog tooth went in and came out and caused a certain mechanical effect on the yarn. Nothing even close to the mention of DNA. With regard to
representations that Attorney Brennan has made that somehow there was a hearing that we were on notice. It is completely incorrect. Show me the hearing, show me the transcript where that has been discussed. The prosecution has also said, we're going to, or we always intended to bring on rebuttal, Dr. Crosby, who would talk about the supposed absence of DNA, the alleged absence of it. The problem with that of trying to rescue the mistrial that the prosecution has caused with prejudice is that Dr. Crosby could never testify about such a topic, because I would object because there would be no foundation, because the prosecution strategically chose not to bring in the foundation whatsoever in this trial. The fact that they did it in another trial, or perhaps did it, is irrelevant to this trial, as Your Honor has admonished several times. What happened? This is a new trial, and whatever happens in the first trial is the first trial. So in conclusion, Your Honor, because of the conduct of the prosecution, and specifically the intentional mention of DNA, the prosecution has put in the jury's mind that topic that is irremediable. That cannot be reversed. That cannot be cured. That cannot be ameliorated with a jury instruction. That cannot be dislodged. The prosecution has to suffer the consequences of its own intentional actions of bringing up that topic. Ms. Reed is entitled under the Constitution, under the Massachusetts Declaration of Rights, to a fair trial. And what has just happened is antithetical, abhorrent to a fair trial. The only remedy is a mistrial with prejudice.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Brennan.
I hate that man. I truly hate him.
Inquiring of Dr. Russell about the absence of dog DNA.
So we're looking at his hands, are we? I was going to say I didn't want to interrupt Mr. Alessi, so I didn't. But remember, call back to, I don't know, who was it that Bluebird was talking about how the witness, was it Jennifer McCabe, had something in her hand, and I was saying, think about Alessi when he's talking and he's doing this, and Alessi was just with much vehemence and passion was doing that in his thing. So
yeah. So just watch I watched it once through, and I just watched what he does with the Post-it notes, and it gets really funny just watching it.
Okay. We can laugh.
Is not only proper and permissible, it's essential, and the Commonwealth is entitled on cross-examination to explore theories and facades that the defense creates if there is actual evidence that undermines or contradicts the representations that they are trying to portray to this jury. Let's be clear. The defense is on notice that there is no dog DNA in the sweater of John O'Keefe. Let's be clear. The defense is on notice that we were not going to try to disprove all of their varying theories in our case in chief, but if they were going to propose theories that we thought were unsubstantiated, we would do so in rebuttal. It is clear these witnesses are on the witness list. More so, the conversation and examination of Dr. Russell is replete in the historical record of this case.
Don't use my word.
Dr. Russell herself testified on December 12, 2024, that she did consider the absence of DNA in her opinion. She disregarded it. She discounted it. She created false theories about the potential destruction of it, but she did testify this was part of her consideration for her opinions. Again, on January 7th, 2025, Dr. Russell again discussed the absence of dog DNA in John O'Keefe's sweater. Now, it may be inconvenient. It might be hurtful for the defendant's theories, for the creation they portrayed for this jury yesterday, but it is not improper. It's not unconstitutional. It's not irrelevant. It's very relevant. It is powerful evidence that the Commonwealth has to undermine this idea that the linear superficial abrasions on John O'Keefe's arm were somehow caused by a dog.
Is that the spray
They,
stuff?
on their case in chief, tried to create impressions.
It's been all over Twitter. Like the transformation of Hank from kind of sandy, dark, light brown, kind of sandy, thinning hair to this thick-ish looking. Let's see you up close, Hank.
Yeah. By the way, we're up to 9 movements of the 2 Post-it notes that he has. He has 2 Post-it notes, everybody, and it's a little bit cut off, it looks like, on the trial channel. But if you see it on other other videos, you could see the whole thing. He's got 2 post-it notes and he's moved them now 9 times. He's literally just moving them like side to side to side to side and over in front of each other. What are you doing? You're not busy.
That's the same as his clicking of his binder and stuff. It's his little it's his Welch's calculator, it's Welch's laptops, it's Welch's everything. That's same with Hank. He's like he's not, I mean, he's floundering.
Yes. Yeah.
He doesn't believe in what he's saying. If he was speaking with conviction, he wouldn't need those little notes, would he? Like Alessi didn't need any notes, but then Alessi is very smart.
Yeah.
About the cause of the abrasions to Mr. O'Keefe. The defense does not get to pick and choose what words the Commonwealth can or cannot use. They do not get to pick and choose what parts of Dr. Russell's opinions are important and not important. Because they chose not to emphasize, highlight, or discuss the absence of dog DNA on direct does not mean it's beyond
the
scope of
fans
direct
would be blowing
examination.
them
It means
too.
they did not want to talk about it because it was not helpful to them. There have been countless cross-examinations in this case where questions are asked beyond the scope of direct. This is not beyond it. It goes to the heart of her opinion. If I cannot cross-examine her, as proposed by the defense about the heart of her opinion, she shouldn't give it. She shouldn't have an opinion because you can't come in and just take the favorable facts into yourself and leave out reality. I intend on asking Dr. Russell about her opinions about the role that the absence of DNA played. Also, I expect to ask her about her attempt to diminish or demean the DNA evidence because it shows her inherent bias in all of her opinions, where she acts as an advocate, not as a scientist or a doctor. It is admissible evidence. We intend on using it. And when she returns to the stand, these are the very questions I'm going to ask her.
1 minute.
Sure, go right ahead.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Sure.
Your Honor, a key misstatement of fact that Attorney Brennan just made. He said that Dr. Russell talked in prior proceedings and hearings about dog DNA. The record is abundantly clear. She only did so in response to a question from Mr. Brennan. I have the transcripts right with me. She never raised it affirmatively. She gave her opinion and that these wounds were to a reasonable degree of medical certainty from a dog. Mr. Brennan on cross said, did you consider, and this is in a prior proceeding, did you consider DNA? She gave her answer. She didn't raise it. I heard it. I was there. Your Honor was there. So this impression that Mr. Brennan is trying to give, that somehow the defense brought this topic up before, is incorrect. The second point, Mr. Brennan needs to have a good faith basis to ask the question. To have a good faith basis, he has to have some admissible evidence that he's got for it. He has no admissible evidence on dog DNA with regard to the arm. He knows he doesn't. He strategically chose not to bring that evidence in this case.
He's like,
now he's saying he wants to use it. That would be improper in this trial for that reason. The other 2 points quickly. Mr. Brennan alleges an absence of dog DNA with regard to these wounds in the right arm. There was no swabbing of the wounds of the right arm of Mr. O'Keefe. That is a major, major investigative flaw in this case. That should not be befallen upon the defendant. Secondly, there are, with regard to the hoodie that was one, I believe, swab taken, and we don't know much about it, but what we do know about it is there are horrible, tremendous chain of custody and care with regard to the hoodie, conceded, virtually left on the floor of the ambulance, left on the floor of the hospital, carried around by Mr. Proctor for weeks, maybe even months, not submitted for testing for months. There are huge issues that prevent a fair determination about whether there was.
Hang on. You know that this is Hank's assistant or whatever, or paralegal.
Yes, he's checking out his notes and reporting back, right?
Yeah, I think so. But she also just got startled by Alessi.
Did she? Can we get back? I wasn't looking.
Get back.
Mr. Proctor for weeks, maybe even months, not submitted for testing for months. There are huge issues that prevent a fair determination about whether there was even proper determination
things
of
I
whether there
miss
was
because I only
DNA or
listen.
not.
God
So
damn
in
it.
conclusion, Your Honor, the defense has never brought up DNA or alleged absence with regard to the right arm of the hoodie. It's always been the prosecution. We were meticulous and assiduous in not doing it here. The prosecution needs to live with the consequence of its action. This is remediable, and I respectfully submit warrants only one ruling respectfully, and that is this trial must be declared a mistrial with prejudice. Can I have 30 seconds? Sure.
No, fuck off, Hank.
I hate that
The
man. I
defense can
truly
pound
am.
their fists and yell as loudly as they want, but they can't change truth and reality. Whatever the motivation is
Lol.
for running a mistrial can't be based on a claim that the prosecution raised DNA for the first time with Dr. Russell at the Lanigan hearing. If we actually look at facts and reality, rather than making false claims about everybody in the courtroom and everybody else who comes in here, what we'll see in the transcript, and this is the December 22nd, December 12th, 2024 transcript, I direct the court to the direct examination of the attorney who just accused the government of raising it for the first time. Despite his words, we have page 83, line 21. We have page 122, line 14. We have page 124, line 14. These are the words of Attorney Alisi on direct examination.
Oh, Lizzie, you
And there are more.
fuckwit.
There are more, but that is enough for the court
wait,
to understand that
Hold
representation.
1 second, please. What the fuck? His, I believe it's his wife. Her name is her surname is Annnessi, I believe, or something like that. And someone on Twitter goes, I wonder if he refers to her as Anisi. It was fucking hilarious. I wish I'd bookmarked it. Great. I can't remember the exact spelling. Someone will know. Yes. Once again, bold lies. Exactly.
Mistaken by Attorney Alisi. Holy.
All right, thank you. We'll give everybody a half an hour.
Fuck. All rise.
Okay. Did you want to see the ruling or just keep going?
No, I don't think so. Hey, Sherry Berry. Spanky is the biggest dig hole ever. Everyone jumped in with both feet. Wow. Boom. The zinger from Sherry Berry. Oh.
And then we
I
have
love Officer Barros. Sargent Barros. He is just that. Like I said this last night, all these witnesses just radiate goodness. Don't you think? Don't you think? You can feel it. It's palpable.
Absolutely. So we did you want to go to testimony? I have a couple of really great things, and one of them is kind of long. But
yes, but let me see, because I've got a react from it's about 15 minutes, but we can
is it from Kurt?
Some of it. Yeah, from Kurt. Have you seen
Same.
that one?
It's just I have the same.
Yes, let's do that one. And because that, I mean, it's sort of it's the outrage. It's the outrage. It's the outrage of it all. Wait, but what am I? There it is. So that's Tony down the bottom. Tony P, our Tony P, friend of the channel, but also more importantly, Kurt Civil Laws Tony P. And Tony will be on tomorrow night with our friend Colors Flight, who's probably still asleep. She's on Australia time. Hi, Forrest. Good to see you. Long time no see. Awesome. Yes, Tony's lurking. Let's go.
Your memory is as good as your memory that you said in court there was a difference between that photo and the damage, right?
Right.
Yeah. Applause. When he shuffles his papers, closed caption says applause.
Have you ever read your testimony from your last proceeding?
Never.
But you have a specific memory of discussing that specific photograph.
Tony, not tiny.
Yes.
Big Tony.
Yes.
Raw. Question differently.
Yeah, I don't know what we're doing right now. It seems suspiciously like we're impeaching him, but we can't because
look at that pause.
He hasn't said anything
Sergeant
inconsistent with what he said before. he said, "Isn't this what you said?" And he said, "Yes." So you can't impeach him because he's conceded the point. So what the hell are we doing now?
It's the same thing. He's just elaborating further. Nobody asked him last time.
Yeah, it's like, we'll refresh your memory. Well, not really, because I already told you the exact answers.
Yeah.
What are we doing right now? It looks like we're doing it. You can't impeach him. He already gave you the answer. What are you doing, man? Lord have mercy.
Yes, I wonder if
I love him.
he assumed that whatever in the last trial would happen, he wouldn't have to rat them out. He realized after the fact that didn't happen, so now he decides he needs to tell the whole thing.
But like but it doesn't matter either way because he's conceded the point. Like, weren't you asked last time? Yes.
Oh yeah.
Didn't you say it was cracked but not completely? Yes. Okay. I want to show your transcript to refresh your recollection. But I just agreed with you. So
yes, Kraken.
What are we doing right now? I don't understand.
Between that photo and what you saw at the last time you testified. Objection.
I don't think it's what he said.
And I should take a look at that. Could you show me anywhere in your testimony? Anywhere. Where you made
Tony
any statement
says it all. Like what?
about that photo being inconsistent with what you saw in Dayton on January 29th, 2022.
I also don't think that's what he said. I mean, I could go back, but I don't think that's what he said. Did he say that he testified about the photo? Maybe I missed it, but do I have to go back and re-listen? Because I don't think that's what he said.
He said he saw the photo in the last trial, but I don't know that he said he saw it beforehand.
Yeah, you can't refresh his recollection because there's nothing to refresh because he remembers. You can't impeach because he's already agreed to it. So nothing works. What are we doing? I don't understand. He said yes to Bren's question. He identified the photo difference. Okay, I guess we have to go back and listen to what he actually said.
You said that your memory about the damage to the taillight, as you recall it when you were in Dayton back on January 29, 2022, you said your memory is as good as your memory that you said in court there was a difference between
What are you
that
saying,
photo
Hank?
and the damage, right?
Right.
Tony.
Photo. You said your memory is as good as your memory that you said in court there was a difference between that photo and the damage, right?
Right.
Oh, that's ambiguous. Yeah, you said in court there's a difference between, but that's an ambiguous question because like it depends how you parse that sentence. Like you said in court that there's a difference between that photo,
but none of it.
But did I say in court about the photo, or am I saying there is a difference? So how do I parse that? Yeah, that is sleazy, bad Brennan, bad Brennan. Bad Brennan. That is a sleazy, ambiguous question, and I'm pissed.
Clip. Here, I've got something in my binder.
That is not fair.
Have you ever read your testimony from? Reflect on your memory.
So ask the question differently.
Discuss the distinction between that photo and what you saw at the last.
That is not fair. That is not fair.
Could you show me anywhere in your testimony?
What a bitch.
He's so sleazy and slimy and grubby. Hank, not Kurt.
About
Or
that photo.
Clip.
Being inconsistent with what you saw.
See, that isn't the same thing. He didn't say that. He said they testified that there was a difference between it's not the same. What a dick. What a dick. Fuck you. I guess I got to give him points for slipping in the predicate in a way that was not necessarily readily discernible.
Well, it should be easy enough for Alessi to remedy when it gets back to redirect.
What a bitch.
Not a Lessie, Tony, was it? No,
I tell you what, man. I tell you what. I don't think there's any way that I as a witness would catch that. I wouldn't. I mean,
no, not a chance.
I wouldn't catch it. I'd make the mistake. I'd make the mistake too. I wouldn't catch it. What a dick. What dick a move. Fucking dick.
Small
Fuck
dick,
you,
long balls,
Brennan.
Hank.
Fuck you right in your double dick. I'm pissed.
Yes.
I'm pissed.
So respectfully, sir, your memory about distinguishing that photo is not as you thought it was and claimed
That
it was.
isn't exactly what he said. Correct. What a
And that's not a
sleazy
matter of
dick.
You trying to fool anybody or lying, is it?
No.
No, it's a matter of time passes and memory fades. Yes?
Yes.
And that's one real
You
example.
don't, you understand? You don't understand the distinction, Afix? It's ambiguous. I don't know how to explain it. It's just ambiguous what he says. Like you testified at the previous trial, there's a difference between that photo and what you saw
Hey,
today.
Mandy, good to see you.
Now, that photo is now something I'm looking at right now. So when I hear that question, there's two ways of parsing that question. When you say, did you testify that there was a difference between that photo and what you see right now? It's like, well, relative to the photo I'm looking at right now, yes, I testified to the difference because I testified to the condition of the thing, and that's a difference based on the photo.
Yeah.
But so that's one way of parsing it. The other way of parsing it is that I testified as to that distinction at the previous trial with specific respect to the photo. So it's the way that he phrased it, it's ambiguous about whether or not the testimony at the prior trial actually concerned the photo, the differences between the photo or merely what he saw versus the photo. It's ambiguously worded and it's incredibly dickish and I hate it. I don't know if that explains it any better, but it's fucking bullshit. I'm fucking pissed.
Big mad Kurt.
By the Academy,
all of
they
us.
teach you when you write reports to be as detailed as you can.
We all get it. Well, Fix didn't get it. That's why I said he didn't get it. Fix said he didn't understand it. That's why I took the time to pause and re-explain it on the basis that if Fix didn't understand it, perhaps his sentiment reflected other people. So on the basis that if someone had a question, and I perceived his question in good faith, on the basis that if he had a question, perhaps other people had the question, I took the time to pause and explain it. So I'm sorry that I took the time to explain to someone what they didn't understand. Sorry that that inconvenienced you, but I wanted to make sure that everyone else understood. So, you know, we can all play along at home.
Because it's a very important point too.
The fact that memories can fade, right?
Correct.
Memories can change.
What?
Yeah,
I know what I saw. That wasn't it.
Yeah, he's implying that he said that he saw the photo at the previous trial, but it's not what he said. I'm a mad panda. And now he's like, oh, your memory is wrong because you thought you saw it and you didn't, but it's not. Fucking bullshit.
What I'm asking you, because you just testified that under oath you had looked at that photo and distinguished it. But that's not accurate, is it?
No.
It's also not. Fuck you.
One more sound bite for the closing argument.
Correct.
You share those same difficulties with memory as many other witnesses. Objection.
Sustained.
You have, as is human nature, difficulties with memory.
Distorted memories.
And so that very certain memory.
Okay, Kurt, let's watch Riddle. I'll tell you what, everyone who complains about me pausing, I'm just going to take the time to pause and explain more. It is my channel. I will take the time to explain what I want to explain.
Just play the video.
Some people complain when I talk over the testimony. Some people really don't like that. They really don't like when the testimony is ongoing and then I talk over the testimony. Some people really hate that. So I've had comments in the past like, hey, when you want to comment, why don't you just pause and then comment so you don't talk over the testimony? So then I did that. And now I'm pausing and people are complaining about that. So I'll tell you what, when you guys figure out a way for me to make everyone happy all at once, we'll do that. In the meantime, I'm just going to take the time to talk about what I want to because it's my channel. And I'll tell you what, if you think that you can do it better in terms of when to comment and when not to do it better, comment. If you think you can do it better, feel free to start your own channel. I'm sure it's going to be fantastic. You'll know exactly when to comment and when not. You'll know exactly how long to pause and when not. You'll know exactly every single time, and everyone will love you, and no one will disagree, and it'll be fantastic every time. I'm sure it'll be great. I look forward to watching your channel. It'll be awesome.
Have you seen other
Just play the video
about that taillight since January 29, 2022?
I have.
Have you seen other information since you last testified last summer about the taillight?
I have.
And seeing this extraneous information, this other information, do you think that played a part in some of your difficult memory?
What a fucking dick.
Okay.
I object to this entire sequence. This is some bullshit.
Yep.
This is some bullshit. What a way to manufacture an issue out of nothing. Fucking wanker.
Yeah, it's really bothering me every time he brings up the word hotel, like going to a hotel that has a conference center is sleazy. by the defense. I don't understand.
Isn't it true that was a flea bag motel and you were paying by the hour?
Based on all the additional information you've read and seen, would you agree it's had some effect on your memory?
I guess.
I want you to guess.
Incidentally, by the way, and not for nothing, although the point is slightly off, we'll spend the time anyway. This is also partially why we, as lawyers, tell you like just not to talk to the police in general, because police sometimes will do this too. Sometimes they will do this too. They will say things in a way that's ambiguous to try to trip you up, and then like basically no matter which way you jump, they will whack you on it because the police are really smart, and where they've at least really practiced. So it's like, yeah, this is one of the things that we're concerned about. It's because, like, you know, he gave an honest answer to a dishonestly phrased question, and then it made him look like a liar, or at least non-credible or unreliable because of the trickery involved in the question.
Oh yeah, and they know how to set it up beforehand in your interview, so that when it does come to court, it's very easy to get you to say something else.
Yeah, and if you had a lawyer sitting by you, the odds of him catching that, even an accomplished lawyer, the odds of him catching that, oh my God, like, so it's just way too easy to slip things up, man. What a pain in the ass. Fucking bullshit.
You made explanations at the last trial that you didn't make, right?
Correct.
You had a memory as you testified in direct examination on the road, you tried your best. All things that just didn't happen, right?
Right.
Would you agree that you'd have some difficulty with that?
What a fucking ass. What a
I want to
fucking
show
tool.
you some evidence of that taillight before you had a chance to see it.
He's answering truthfully, and that just makes it look bad.
The ring video at 5:07:58, please. Can we go
It's also
to
an incredibly blown out
10,
video.
before you show it? I have a couple questions.
Yeah.
This was a snowstorm, kind of like a blizzard that day.
Yes.
And when you got to the driveway, it had not been shoveled or plowed.
Correct.
There was quite a bit of snow accumulating and ongoing.
Yes.
And there was snow coming down on top of everything, the ground, the streets, the cars, correct?
Correct.
And snow was accumulating, did you notice, on cars and packing on cars?
Yes.
When you looked at this house, when you looked at the defendant's Lexus indictment, you didn't go over and scoop up.
Maybe the lawyers in chat could help me out. If I were a judge in that situation, what is the proper judicial sua sponte objection for fuck you and fuck your stupid question? What is the proper sua sponte objection? Answers in chat would be appreciated.
I have no further questions.
What a dick.
Please, Mr. Jackson.
I'm surprised you left time for redirect.
I can't get over how pissed I am. That is one of the slimiest, and it was so deliberate. It was so purposeful. It was so, I am so pissed at how slimy that is. I can't even see straight right now is how pissed I am. Fucking bullshit.
Someone asked me.
Oh, I love him. So yes, Kurt big mad. We're all big mad. Cheryl, we're going for hours tonight. That's what she said. So if you're going to be driving home, you can listen while you're driving, and then we're going to be watching the last couple of parts of A Body in the Snow on Kick later. And in about an hour, we have Salty Sleuth Investigates, our 13th juror, coming on to give us her take on things at the end of week 7. I have a feeling she gave us a little breadcrumb, a little Easter egg like yet last night that suggests that maybe she's hopped off that fence and she's landed in our side, is what I get the vibe. What about you? What the fuck?
That's what I hope. It really seems like that, and that's what I'm really hoping to hear. But hopes and wishes and all that. So
right. So what do we got?
I just have two more for Sargent Barros that are fairly short.
No, good.
So we have Defense Diaries makes a really good point about kind of how Hank is really setting himself up.
Good. Keep digging your grave.
Hank did what any defense attorney's going to do. Even though he's the prosecutor, believe me, he's a defense attorney first and foremost. He's been doing it too long. The shit just sticks with you. And then as far as Barros goes, where that's going to come and bite Hank. Like Hank decided to shoot his load on Barros because he understood how damaging that testimony was. Because if you don't think that all those questions about report writing, about taking pictures. Jackson got into a little. If you don't think that's going to come around and bite him in the ass, it is. Because none of those assholes from MSP or Canton did any of that. And that's who matters. They were the investigating agencies.
Bingo.
Not Dighton. So he sold his soul to the devil
Bingo.
to try to stomp that fire out that was Barros by asking him, oh, when you write a report, you want to put all the details of what you saw in there. Well, what about Buchanan's report? What about Proctor's report? What about them not taking pictures? They're the investigating agency. You see where I'm going with that? That's going to backfire on him. But he used it there because he needed to, because that's how big Barros was. But that's going to come back. It's going to bite him in the ass. Mark my words. Mark my words.
I love that. I think that is so powerful.
I love it too. Interesting that every witness that the defense puts on sort of leads into and they seem to be the most powerful, the most important, the most convincing, integrity-filled witness that the defense has presented, and then each one that comes along, the next one supersedes the previous one. Because I mean, on Uncivil, on Law and Lumber, Rob last night, he was saying that, and I kind of tend to agree that at this point, Arca, Dr. Wolfe is the most powerful and important and impactful witness, and I feel like Rentschler is going to then supersede Dr. Wolfe, because now we understand the mechanics of what forces are required to create the damage to the taillight, and then Rentschler's going to come in and say, and this is what those forces would have done to that arm body of Officer John O'Keefe. So I just think it's just building and building as weight after weight, which is why I really wanted to, and we'll get to it, I guess, tomorrow night. Yes, the reasonable doubt video from Tony DeWitt, the JD, a lawyer explains. Amen. It's in my brain, because it's really important. Like, that's what the defense are doing, is building this fantastically strong, reasonable. Beyond, they're doing way more than they need to in legally, but for this jury, So I find it really interesting that I was wondering about the order of the defense witness list, and at this point, I think it's really, they're stacking foundation, and then it's just getting better and better. What do you think? What the fuck?
Oh, I think you're right on there. It's amazing because you're right. Every single person that comes in, you think, oh, this is the one. This is the one. There definitely has been moments where I'm like, oh, there's been a little stutter, and you're not so sure, but then it ramps back up, and you're like, okay, now we're going. But I'm really excited for Rentschler, because, like you said, the knowing the human part of it, the body part of it is going to be so important.
Yes, the biomechanics of it all. Yes. So have you got one more clip?
I do. I have one more clip for Barros, which actually doesn't have anything technically to do with Barros, but it happened during that day, and so I just have to share it.
Yes.
Jess Machado. I told.
Yes, you told me about this.
I told Lisa about this when I was watching it because I was dying. I was like giggling so hard. Jess Machado sits in the courtroom as much as she can, although she doesn't win the randomizer all that much. But she goes in there and she is really good about observing the jury and just the general stuff. And she reports out on Twitter. So check her out on Twitter.
One moment before you press play, she when the trial, just tweeted out the other day, when the the first trial, she had about 960 followers on Twitter. Now she has 36,000 followers on Twitter in 12 months, and she used to be Fall River reporter, weird Fall River accent. But now she is just called at the Jess Machado Show. So I guess she's an independent journalist now.
Yes.
So if you have Twitter, if you have X, she's fantastic, and she doesn't just cover Karen Reid stuff. She's a proper journalist. She seems like almost like an advocate / uses her journalism for advocacy, which I really love. So let's hear what she has to say about that day in court.
Okay.
For me was when Brennan was like over here, and I know a lot of people missed it. A lot of people missed it. And I'm thankful for the followers who found that clip and kind of put it together. But this whole sequence of things that happened there, first of all, that was a very dominant move, a very dominant statement. Okay, so here you got Brennan, he's standing there. And also a lot of people didn't realize, but Jackson had just objected. So Barros looking over at Jackson was a totally appropriate thing for him to do. And for Brennan to snap at him and say, over here, completely crazy move. And then Jackson objects, and they go up to the sidebar, and I tweeted about this. And listen, I'm sure it's insignificant in the whole span of both these trials and the death of John O'Keefe, but watching Brennan smirk in a way at John O'Keefe's ex, it was so crazy to me. And I watched the video back, and you can see me. I lean over because I want to see what her expression is. I was like, what's going on here? Yeah. Sue O'Connell asked me today, like, how did he look at her? And I was like, in a sexy way. Like he was,
yeah,
it was like
baby, I'm doing it. Oh yeah, I'm doing it, baby.
It was like a sexy smirk. And she was like all flustered by it. And I'm so thankful for the camera that caught it, because I could only see the back of her head, but like in the side when she turned, but like you could tell she was all flustered by it. I was like, what the fuck are we watching here? Like, what's going on? What kind of alternate universe am I in? Or Hank is like giving like this like sex stare, and like John's ex-girlfriend is like eating it up. And I was like, all on the way to a sidebar during Barro's testimony. It's crazy. It was weird.
Yeah, you like it. I'm gonna do it for the Commonwealth.
Wait, that's an uncanny impression, actually. That could come in handy later on at Halloween or some.
That's so good. And also then he did it over here too. Was that to fucking Dr. Wolfe? Was that to Dr. Wolfe?
Yep, he does.
Hey, Forrest, thank you so much for gifting out 5 memberships. You're in the draw for a Miss Shorty merch t-shirt. We'll probably maybe draw that next weekend, but thank you. Thank you. All right, Lucky. Now, there's another, so Lucky, another radiates like solid goodness, right? And he was so brave. He's not a, excuse me. Whoa, let me clear my throat. He's a simple, like, salt of the earth kind of guy. That must have been intimidating for him to be up against that fucking weasel demon Hank Brennan. So Zamboni daddy. Motion to call Lucky Loughran Zamboni zaddy. Motion granted.
So I have clips, but if you have that channel, I bet you they have everything I pulled up.
I reckon. Let me make sure we've got
and more.
So yes, so this one's a slightly shorter, only slightly shorter, but it should be fantastic. It should be exactly what we're looking for, but tied up in a nice, neat bundle of edited bliss. So
awesome.
Oh, good. This channel is called The Next Witness. I will drop their channel into the chat again. Why? Oh, there it is. Gosh, it takes a little while when it's coming over from me to you. Interesting. Let's watch it.
Hear ye.
What speed have I got it on? Jeez Louise.
The Honorable Beverly Canoni, Justice of the Superior Court, holding in Dedham within and for the County of Norfolk. Draw near, give your attendance, and you shall be heard. God save the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. This court is in session. Please be seated. Good morning, Your Honor.
Morning.
The defense calls Brian Laughlin.
Okay.
Brian Laughlin. Lucky's in the house.
Lucky Loughran.
Lucky Loughran.
Lucky Loughran.
Lucky Loughran.
What a stud Lucky Loughran is, guys. What a stud.
And Michael.
Why are we doxing his family?
In the order.
Born and raised here, brother's a town selectman, Chris Albert town selectman.
And you say he owns his own driving
That's
school.
why.
In which town?
And his brother Michael is on the select board with Chicken Parm Charlie. Chris Albert.
What truck or snowplow were you assigned in those early morning hours? I was assigned truck 30. And does that have a particular nickname?
Yes.
The Franken truck.
Yes, it's considered a Franken truck.
Very special truck. A truck known as Franken truck.
Franken truck is the name
of his truck.
You said Franken truck.
Franken truck.
Franken truck.
Yes.
Like Frankenstein.
Yes.
Subscribe to this.
Why was it
channel. The
nicknamed
next-
Franken truck?
And it's not your standard truck.
It was a very uncomfortable truck, and it had a lot of smash of parts.
It's like one of the big plow trucks, but he has like all these gadgets and gizmos aplenty.
Some extra parts that are attached to it
To make it more convenient for the driver.
It's hodgepodged.
But he's been doing this for 20 years, so he's got no problem driving the Franken truck.
He is very proud of Franken truck.
They patched it all together. They just Franken. Oh, there's pictures of the Franken truck.
So this was a nice touch, Franken truck, showing pictures of it.
It was.
He took a lot of pictures of Franken truck, and he showed what it looked like from the outside.
Is Franken truck. I love it. I love it.
There's Franken truck. So that's a big fucking truck. Look at those lights, dude.
And he also showed from the pictures what it looks like from the inside.
This is depicting on the range that I would see seated in the front seat, looking out the windshield.
I mean, just look at this light, dude. Your car doesn't have lights like that. Franken truck is a beast, and Franken truck sees everything, dude.
And how much of that front lawn are you able to see on 34 Fairview when you're coming back down from Chapman?
I can see everything. I can see right up to the front door.
He could see all the way to the front door. There was nothing obstructing his view driving past the Albert House.
He's like, I have the eyes of God when I'm sitting up there.
No obstructions. He can see all the way to the front door. No problem at all to see the front lawn.
He's like, I can see Spain.
The right and to the left.
Why?
I am looking for pedestrians. I'm looking for residents that may be backing out,
Here it is.
not aware that I'm there, and God forbid, animals.
How much of the time that you're plowing?
God forbid animals.
God forbid animals.
How much? God forbid any animals. I love it.
I love that Lucky is like, I don't want to run over a pedestrian. I don't want to run over a person, but I really don't want to run over somebody's dog.
And God forbid.
How much of the time that you're
People
plowing
like-
are you?
I don't like people so much, but the dog.
Bam. There's a vehicle right in the area of the flagpole in front of 34 Fairview at 3:30 a.m.
Did you make note of what type of vehicle that was?
Yes,
What type of vehicle was that?
a Ford Edge.
Ford Edge.
Ford Edge.
It was a Ford Edge.
Everybody's like, wait. What?
We all know.
Which Ford Edge was it?
Now we know that the Alberts
Oh,
own a Ford Edge.
The Alberts have several of these.
Guess who never investigated looking into a Ford Edge? Nobody.
They didn't do any follow-up.
For as long as I can remember, they have never parked a vehicle in front of their house. They've always had enough ample parking in the driveway.
That's another thing that just seems like either a just bold-faced blatant lie or something you would remember.
But they had multiple cars parked across the driveway and multiple cars down the driveway from the photos that we saw.
Plenty of parking in the driveway there as well, as he said, and they've never done that before.
So he's like, I noticed because it's unusual, and I know these people.
In all of his time delivering pizzas, plowing, he's never seen a car parked in front of the home.
Yeah, they got a big
What
driveway.
policies or protocols of the DPW are enforced when vehicles are parked on the street or the road during a snow emergency?
Tell them.
Yep. So when during snow emergencies, anyone who's lived in an area where you have a lot of snow, when a snow emergency is declared, you are not allowed to park on the side of the street.
At that point, the supervisor will make attempt to call the resident or have the police show up at the resident.
This
And then
guy's
if they
so
can't get the
he's
car
so
removed,
serious
the car
about
gets
his
towed.
job. I love it.
He's like, I'm supposed to call it in and get vehicles towed if people park on the street during these snowstorms.
So here we go. We got a violation. Is he going to call it in or is he not? What's he going to do?
Sir, did you follow protocol that night?
I did not.
Why not?
Knowing the Albert family, knowing that there was a first responder, I gave him respect and opted not to follow procedures.
Didn't turn in the Alberts.
Trying to help him out. Didn't want to have their car towed. He's a nice guy.
That you gave them a professional courtesy you might not give to someone else.
It's his friends, the Albert family and the influential family.
Because they're the Alberts.
Cutting him a break.
Because he didn't report the Edge. He was trying to do the Albert family a solid.
Did him a solid.
and he also does the Albert specifically a favor.
And with regard to the lighting on those police,
They've got a full audio experience as we're talking about police being behind him while he's plowing.
You have given statements to at least 4 different people, correct?
Correct.
And you've testified in court under oath?
Correct.
When he said 4 different people, that's when I knew he was going to talk about me.
On cross-examination, what was interesting is that Hank Brennan first brought out that there's this blogger.
Because the 4 different people are the private investigator, the FBI, me, and then the state police in that order. That's how I knew he was going to talk about me when he said 4.
And you've testified in court under oath?
Correct.
During the pendency from that night until today, it's fair to say there are many times where you have been intimidated, isn't it?
No.
You've been threatened?
What?
No.
What?
You were aware, sir, that you were being threatened by an online blogger?
I was not.
You see Karen Reed's face of like, what? What?
As an attorney, you have to bring up only things you believe are truthful. So how does Brendan getting this out there saying he was threatened by an online blogger to be exposed?
They're not allowed to say the name, but we know which online blogger they're talking about here, right?
Oh, you were threatened by Turtle Boy?
Turtle Boy.
Turtle Boy.
Turtle Boy.
Turtle Boy. Turtle Boy.
You may have heard this blogger before. His name is Turtle Boy.
You want to put in a Turtle Boy piece? They know. The camera
going
knows.
on that, Sherry.
The cameraman has decided that the focus will be the blogger
Camera knows.
standing in the courtroom as a member of the media in this case.
Look at him. He's all bemused.
Though they have not said Turtle Boy's name, I presume that that's exactly who they're talking about. You've been intimidated? No. You've been threatened? No.
Where's your good faith knowledge of this, Brennan?
You're saying you sit here today.
I love
You
Carl.
have no awareness in the history of this case that you were being threatened by an online blogger.
I was not threatened by an online blogger.
And then he repeats it. He already said he was not.
You've been intimidated by an online blogger? No.
Was the online blogger threatening or saying that he would expose you and tell personal things about you if you weren't helpful?
Trying to expose you if you don't testify in the way that he wants. Isn't that true?
No, I'm not.
Make
I
sure he's
didn't threaten anyone.
Next witness.
This guy talking. No, Hank's making shit up. I never threatened Lucky.
And he said that actually that's not true. He was not pressured at all.
And in following that blogger, you know full well the power that person has to get attention from the community to harass, correct?
This is outrageous.
Yes.
And so during the pendency of this case, not only were you aware that you were being pressured to testify a certain way.
Objection. Misstates the testimony. Wait. Hello?
I'm going to allow that.
Allie has
Judge, there was an objection the first time. Did you say anything? Are you just riveted? Is that what's happening? She's riveted. You guys, she can't even respond to an objection.
I did not know I was being required to testify a certain way. I was also at the time dealing with the loss of my wife.
Oh, sorry.
I was not paying any attention to any social media.
It's like I didn't give a fuck what was going on
Sorry for
online.
your loss, but you are aware during the
Sorry for your loss, but.
Sorry for your loss, but.
Sorry for your loss, but.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, you're really sorry, aren't you?
Carl has been losing it this week.
And Hank will be a total.
The most egregious thing that Hank did today was to dismiss the death of Lucky's wife.
It's too early to use the words Hank will be very.
Just when you thought the weasel couldn't go any lower, he goes lower.
Hank is going to Hank on this one. Hank is going to Hank.
Brendan doesn't understand the jury is feeling sorry for this guy.
This was the moment Hank lost the jury.
Everything Brennan asks from here is just kind of done.
It's game over. You've lost, Brennan.
It's going to make so many people mad because everybody loves Lucky.
To me, it was one of the most heartless things
That's bullshit. I hope Hank stubs his toe every single morning getting out of bed for the rest of his life.
You're telling me Brendan didn't know he lost his wife?
Everyone knows that Lucky lost his wife. How dare you?
And then runs into his coffee table and his
out of nowhere
shin hurts.
This is Brennan being an absolute shit, and Lucky does not deserve this.
You couldn't even be like, "Oh, I'm really sorry for your loss."
You pause. You wait.
Wait, pause. Maybe a pause.
Because the way he said it is just like, I'm sorry for your loss, but that's really inconvenient for me right now.
Sorry for your loss, but I'm trying to lynch a woman over here, an innocent woman. And I need your help. You got to say the turtle boy pressured you.
My feeling about Lucky, he does. He exudes sincerity.
And this motherfucker held the line. This is the most honest person in Canton, Lucky Loughran.
I find it persuasive.
It's completely baseless. There was no threats. I think the bigger question is, why did a blogger, as Hank Brennan calls me, why did I get to speak with the plow driver before Michael Proctor did?
100% on the money. Why was he able to talk to Lucky before any investigator, the lead investigator for the Massachusetts State Police?
He was never asked about this at all during the investigation. Michael Proctor,
disgraced, fired trooper Michael Proctor,
had no interest in talking to Brian Loughran.
The defense did a better investigation into the murder of John O'Keefe than the Massachusetts State Police and Canton Police. Let that sink in.
Why was Turtle Boy able to interview him? Did nobody want to find out what the truth was? I say, and I present to all of you here, that answer is yes. And we are seeing it unfold times 2.
So that I was trying to find a picture, a still photo. I posted in the Discord. I thought, just give me a sec of that interview Aidan was doing on the steps of the courthouse of Dedham Superior Courthouse. There's a picture of from behind him with all the media, but I can't seem to find it now. Why? Yeah, that was so good, wasn't it? So give them a subscribe. The Next Witness. I think there's big things to come for them. That's a lot of fucking work, right? I might see if I can still keep finding it on the Twitters. So that was Lucky. Have you got any other clips that you think we should play, or is that encompass all of it? Ms. What the fuck?
It does encompass pretty much all of it. I'm just looking at the time. I'm going to go ahead and skip the other ones because I think that's good for him. And I see also you can do everybody can do exclamation point Lucky and send a little love for Lucky in the chat.
Oh, thank you. So our motion to screen what the fuck ended has worked out the stream elements prompt because Matilda, our beautiful Matilda, is taking some time away from doing any of that stuff. So that's pretty cool. So exclamation point Lucky, huh? That's pretty cool. Hi, Laura. Good to see you.
All right. So next up we had just the most lovely person, I think, that has graced the witness stand, Karina.
She's glorious.
Or Testimommy. And I saw and so she joined, and let's see.
Do we have I don't know. Do we have exclamation point ball for Magic 8 Ball? I feel like we do have an 8-ball one.
I don't think it's turned on, but it would take me 2 seconds to turn it on. Let
There
me
it
play.
Love to Lucky. That's beautiful. I so you got to do a capital L for Lucky. Yes. Karina does look so good. But you know why? She's glowing with goodness. She's not hiding a murder, covering up a murder or framing an innocent a woman for her family's bullshit.
Exactly. And 8 ball is on now. So it's exclamation point 8, the number 8 ball.
I love that.
I've never done it
triangle.
before, so I don't know how it works besides that.
so wicked smart. I can't believe how wicked smart you are.
So Karina was on the stand for a pretty short time. She didn't, wasn't really challenged. She was really just there to show that Officer John O'Keefe's relationship with Karen was not as awful as they were trying to make it out to be, that they would have been fighting. And I don't know, that's what it seemed to be. But I got this really lovely clip from Emily. Just speaks for all the introverts, I think, in the world, and I loved it.
You've given your husband the stiff arm, so to
Correct.
speak, right? You're
Correct.
not going.
I'm not going.
So what happens?
Not going. So then he keeps on texting me. He's like, I'm at the waterfall. You should really come. It's fun. There's a band. And I was like, really? Like, I don't want to go. And then my kids got involved with the conversation.
And how did that affect your decision?
So they started saying to me, Mom, you never go out. You never do anything. Dad's by himself. Just go. Keep him company while he eats. So I reluctantly went.
All right, so you were guilted into it.
Guilted 100% in.
Harassed by the teens. She's, I am done. I have worked since 8 a.m. I have gone home. I have changed bags. I socialized before the game. I saw humans. I went and ate with the humans. I talked to the humans. I went to the game and sat with the humans. And then I saw my kids. And then I went home. No more humans. Home. And then her husband's like, it's so much fun. Come out. I'm home. And her kid's like, Mom, you never do anything. You should go. God damn it. And there we are. And now she's had to testify twice. Kids, Mom, you should go. Look, now, she was just trying to be done with the day. And now we're here. 2 times. 2 times she's had to testify. When the woman says she wants to stay home, let her stay home. Emily, this sounds very personal. Yes. When you are done for the day, you are done for the day. Too much peopling into it.
All right, so where did you go?
Love it.
Too much peopling.
Too much peopling. When I was driving home listening to that, and actually I think I might have even been watching it, EDB's rendition and or commentary on Replay Crew, and when EDB said, I went to work at 8 and I came home and I went to dinner before basketball. I went to the basketball. I'm like, yeah, man, I'd be out. It's all I can do to get myself home and have my sanity still intact. So that's a lot. And then the fact that when she saw Karen walk in, she decided to stay at the end of that epic day. By then it was 11 o'clock at night, almost thereabouts, on a Friday. Friday's going to be a hard no from me, and she stayed because it was Karen. I love that. I love
Yeah. Okay, so next, let's see.
Everybody, can we get some big love hearts in the chat for Motion to Scream What the Fuck Granted, because she works full time. She has 2 children, teenage children, and a husband, Mr. What the Fuck, and she does all of this for us, for me. I am so very, very grateful, forever indebted to you for everything you do. I know you have benefits also. I know it takes your mind off your real world shit. So thank you so much. What the fuck?
I don't even. You're welcome. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm gonna scoot right past that. So thank you.
Love compliment.
Oh, okay. So next up we had Dr. Dimples. Crash Daddy. Dr. Daniel Wolfe. And so we covered a bunch of him yesterday. So everybody should go back and watch that.
Yes.
That was like
I will put a link afterwards in the chat for. I'm sorry, not in the chat, in the description box. Oh, hi Rachel, by the way. Hi. I saw you coming. I forgot to say hi. I'll put a link in the description box after for the Crash Daddy edition of the recap, because we spent a lot of time. Yes.
Yeah. And so we got all the way through his direct, almost all the way through his cross. And then we didn't get to the redirect, but I did. I don't know if you pulled anything for him, but I pulled one thing for him. I know both of us watched. I know both of us were watching Rob.
Yes.
And I pulled one thing from Rob that just left me a little speechless, which I wanted to share. But did you have anything you wanted to specifically go into? I do still have that video pause from yesterday.
Yeah, let's keep going with a bit of that. I did a couple of this morning. I took a couple of timestamp screenshots from Rob about. Yeah, I've got a shortish clip, I think, but yes, that's all. I think I can't even remember what it was, but I thought enough to while I was doing my morning things to go, oh, play that. So that.
Okay. All right. So then continuing on with where we left off yesterday, I will.
No sound.
We'll just try that again.
Yeah, isn't it?
Yes.
And you said, I think on direct examination, I think you said that this is the same as if it was on the dummy. Is that your testimony?
Well, in terms of, again, the amount of weight that would be interacting with the taillight, whether it's attached to the dummy or not, what's in direct contact is going to be the same.
Well, the fact that it's just floating up in the sky like that, it's very to a person or a dummy, isn't it?
In terms of how it moves immediately after the impact, yes.
Not just how it moves, as far as the impact. Isn't it different?
I don't know that I agree with that.
Okay. Well, wouldn't you say that in addition to the arm, if you had another 200 plus pounds being held down by gravity, that would affect the force that's acting on the arm?
Well, the arm again is going to be accelerated, but the center of mass of the body is not going to see that acceleration.
You testified before in this case about the importance of the full body and gravity.
I'm sorry, what was your question?
Have you testified before in this case about the effect of gravity and the full force of a body as opposed to just an arm?
Thank you, Steph.
Yes.
Gotcha.
And do you remember whether you thought it important on a previous time you testified that there was significance to the arm would be attached to a 200 plus pound body and there was the issue of gravity that would affect force?
From what I recall, I think that had to deal with whether or not the pedestrian would be projected based upon an interaction with the arm or a full-on center of gravity hit, right? When we're only hitting the arm, we're not hitting the CG of the body.
You did test B, and you claim it was at 17 miles per hour, test B.
Correct.
And we saw the damage. This is at 15 miles per hour, test C. Could you play this, please? It might be delayed, so you can fast forward a little bit, please.
I'm going to skip around just a little bit for time.
Okay, wait, let me think. I think maybe it's right about now where Rob had his little mad rant.
You want to jump in?
Last night. I think maybe that might be a good timing because it's during the cross. What am I doing with my life? Just because lawyer reacts. Taking its time. There it is. I think I've got it. So we all recall, let me set it up. We all recall Hank Brennan going on in his opening statements about facts, science, and data, and that, and then what he delivered was an Ipsy Dixit case with like a blue paint exercise for $400,000, right? So Rob takes huge offense. Law and Lumber Rob, Friday Night Frenzy is fast becoming my. It's a bit like Cam Shorty. He does one night a week because of peasant work stuff. Although Rob's peasant work is far more illustrious than mine, and he's pretty fair and balanced. He calls the balls and strikes for both the defense and the Commonwealth. But this
is frustrating. Just a little bit. And by a little bit, I mean a lot. I'm very frustrated.
I'll get my, see around here. So at the top here, there's a blue camera here. There's another blue camera here. So these are our high-speed cameras. And you'll see there's a bunch of lights around those high speeds. That's just because the frame rate's so high. And again, it's only sampling a very, very short amount of time. So you have to have a lot of light when you do these high-speed tests. So we have the high-speed cameras running. We have an accelerometer mounted to the ATD arm here on the other side. So that's some of the instrumentation. There's also a couple other cameras that we're documenting this overall. Can we move to the next slide, please?
Oh, no.
What are we looking at in these photographs? So this is looking
Wait,
at,
it
and
must
not to be
have been
confused, this
end.
wasn't the arm position when the
that was the end of his rant. God damn it. I screenshotted the end of the rant, not the start. Fuck.
Having done
Hang on.
these tests that he's going to be doing, I imagine he's doing them now.
vehicle testing with the vehicle driving into an ATD arm, as well as an ATD arm attached to a dummy, and then a full-on impact to a test dummy.
You mean you actually drove the thing at the speed that it was alleged to be driving and you hit something with it at that speed?
Why?
You mean instead of driving in reverse at 1.9 miles an hour and making impact with an arm that was held awkwardly at some position by a standing human that rolled against the vehicle very slowly, intentionally in one direction to transfer paint to an arm, you actually drove the vehicle at the speed it was alleged to be going and hit something that was like a human body to try and see what it would happen? Well, sir, that sounds remarkably scientific.
Wait.
That sounds like an exemplar experiment.
Pause, because it's when Brennan does a sleazy comment. So motion to scream, what the fuck, granted, Ms. Could you please go back to what you were playing and I'll find the thing, because I think I forgot to actually me professional. Just that. Thanks.
I don't know.
That's not what would happen to a person who got hit. Their arm wouldn't spin through their body like that, would it?
Correct.
Their arm wouldn't spin that many times.
No.
There'd be the pull of their body weight. Yes.
I'm sorry, what was your
There'd
question?
be the pull of their body weight.
The body weight, yeah, would affect the movement afterwards, yes.
Gravity. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. And so there's a reason why you do this test at 15 miles per hour. Is there a photo related to this, to the damage to the taillight? There is a reason why at 15 miles per hour, the damage is much different than the other test at 17 miles per hour, isn't there?
Correct.
Right. Because at 17 miles per hour, you have a dummy that is strapped by a harness in its pelvis. When it's hitting the arm, it's affecting it much differently than just a arm floating in air. Yes?
No, I don't agree with that. The primary reason there's a difference in the damage is because of the amount of the arm that's outstretched and interacting with the taillights. There's a difference in those two tests.
Mm-hmm. And so the body and the weight of the body, you're saying, has nothing to do with the amount of damage.
Not in these tests, no.
So when somebody gets hit, does the body weight have anything to do with the damage? Not just the area that gets hit. Does the body weight affect it at all?
Not in terms of the impact, like the rest of the body. It's not going to matter if, for instance, only my hand, like in that last test we just saw, it was the hand and the wrist. How much my stomach weighs, my head weighs, is not going to affect the damage to that taillight in that interaction.
And by the way, this test, you said 15 miles per hour. If you consider the 26%, you're only at 11.1 miles per hour. Is that the right math?
But again, I don't agree with that, because if you look at the data and you integrate the acceleration data to get the speed, right, that we saw in those plots, the hand basically gets up to, I think it was 14 or 15 miles an hour. It reaches that common velocity of the vehicle.
Let's go to test F. On test F, you placed the dummy more behind the vehicle, didn't you?
Correct.
And when you tested, you put it more behind the vehicle. This is more of a full impact than it is a clipping, isn't it?
Certainly, yes.
And when you put this dummy behind the car, this was not a legitimate crash test dummy. It was a different type of dummy, wasn't it?
Yes, it's called a Rescue Randy.
A Rescue Randy. And that is not typically the type of dummy that you're going to use for crash tests, is it?
I wouldn't agree with that.
When you did the Rescue Randy and crash test F, did you use the 12-pound arm or did you stick with the 9.38?
The hybrid arm wasn't attached to the Rescue Randy.
The hybrid arm was not. Is that what you said, or it was?
It was not. No, not in the full impact test.
Okay, so what was the weight of the arm on the Rescue Randy?
I don't know specifically the weight of the arm. I know that the total mass of the Rescue Randy was 200 pounds.
Isn't the weight of the arm important when you're talking about impact with the arm?
Rachel, yes, at about
relative to
9:30. Last two episodes. Yes. We've got Salty Sleuth coming on in 20 minutes. New stream. I've set up redirect, so portals are from this stream to the next one with Salty, so you don't need to go anywhere. And then a redirect to our YouTube pre-game for the Kick a Body in the Snow watch party for episodes 4 and 5 of A Body in the Snow. We had a great time last weekend. So that's that. So yes. And then so there's redirects for all of them. You'll have to jump over to Kick, all's y'all, to do the kick thing. But yes, we're doing that tonight. Yay. So you found a good clip from Loughran Lumber, because I couldn't find mine. I just was too busy multitasking and didn't do a proper timestamp.
Yep, we'll do this one. This one's a really good little mind melting.
Right.
Here we go.
I'm not sure I understand
That's
your
a tough
question.
question. You want to be precise as you can and ultimately having.
Oh, this was the clip I was going to do.
Yes.
Of course.
Should I have PowerPoint page 12, please?
I want to let me rephrase. Let me ask that question again, because this is again why I say that Hank Brand doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. You want to be as accurate as you can when it comes to a conclusion involving data. Verbatim, that's what he just said. You want to be as accurate as you can when it comes to a conclusion involving data. What question is that? What type of question is that? How does that exist? In what world is that question even a question? That's not a question. When you do math, you want to do math with numbers, right? Yes, Mr. Brennan. When I do math, I usually like to use numbers when I do my math. That's cool. And when you do the adding, when you do addition in your math, you like to add numbers, right? Yes, Mr. Brennan. When I do addition, I like to add numbers. Thank you. And when you write words, you use letters to write those words, don't you? Well, yes, Mr. Brennan. When I write words, I usually am using letters in the formation of the things that we call words. So dumb. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. Are you familiar with the concept of gravity? Miss Brennan, you might be a very good attorney. Very good. And you're a skilled litigator, and I'll give you that credit. But man, oh man, if you ever find yourself outside of a courtroom needing work, oof, it might be difficult for you. We've reached that point. We've just reached that point.
Hi, Jim. Good to see you. Actually, that wasn't the clip I had, but it's just as good. He did another big long rant about. I'll see if I can find it and clip it and put it on as a video, a standalone video on the channel, because loves me some Loughran Lumber Rob. Oh, that's so beautiful with the channel colors. By Micah.
Micah?
Don't tell me. Micah.
Rude.
No, that's rude. That's assault. Like, how dare you, sir? That's assault. Rob is so awesome. I love him.
Okay, so we're getting close.
We're getting close. Can we do?
Oh, there's
Fuck all the way off. I'm here. Okay, fair. That's great.
So on that slide that I just had up, there's 3 buttons.
Oh,
we could do all 3, but they're surprises, so you just have to pick.
I wondered what this was. Oh my.
Pick a button.
Number 3, the third one, because this is I hit him. Let's do number 3. You're so clever.
Okay. Let me share this tab instead.
How smart. Producer. Imagine just going, what the fuck, Brandon? Look at that.
Okay. I gotta figure out, because I've never shared one of these before, so I gotta figure out how to do this. Oh my God, don't do this. I want to refresh that. Okay. It's not, no, skip. There we go. Okay. I want to do that, and then I want to share this tab instead. There we do. I'm doing it. Okay. Ugh, that was not great. One more time. Okay, not as smooth as I had hoped, but I've never done TikTok on
Let's,
a computer before.
can we do another one?
You want to do another button?
Yeah. Yeah, let's do another button.
Okay. Which button?
I guess it has to match. So the number one.
Okay. They're all different.
Rising, the colors have to match.
Okay.
One interesting. So I always like try to talk to Alessi. He's because I find him he's such a character. All right, some things I learned about him this week. His dad was a Golden Glove boxer. He's a boxer, and if anyone ever wants to bet you on how many times his nose has been broken, take the over. He said 7, and he pushed in his nose. He's like, I got no cartilage. No, I just find him. He's a super nice guy. He's a total chatterbox. And there are times when we can't talk about the case, but we do get to talk to everyone involved, and you learn some interesting things. Well,
yeah. That's
Peter,
also my grandfather was a trainer for some big time boxers like Roberto Duran, Macho Camacho, Marvin.
No
Hagler.
way.
Yeah, and his nose the same way got broken a lot. He's a black belt in I think like jujitsu or something. My grandpa was quite a character on his own, so I know a little bit about the boxing world and broken noses. So mine's never been broken, so I'm trying to keep it that way.
Oh,
mine has. That's why it's a little bent to the right. Where?
Oh, I love that. And you know what? That's a great segue because Ted Daniels is on A Body in the Snow at certain points. So I love that. I feel like we should go do the third button as well. Come on now.
Third button? Okay. This one's actually just for me. It's very me oriented.
I love that.
So let me go there. Whoop. Share this tab. This one I had no idea.
Oh, I know why this is about. This is for you. Yes. Oh my goodness.
The jury before it was misled into believing that the confession is all there was and that there is no other suspect. I knew that I wanted to be an attorney even when I was a teenager. It seemed thrilling to me to be in charge of a case, be in control of a courtroom. And after practicing for over 30 years, it's still thrilling to me. I chose to practice criminal law because, in my view, it's the height of the legal profession. Every time I go into a courtroom, I'm defending not only my client, but the US Constitution. What higher calling could there be in America? I began my career as an assistant district attorney. I spent nearly a decade investigating and prosecuting cases and seeing the inner workings of the police departments and the DA's office. My background as a former prosecutor has been invaluable to me as I defend people today who are seeking justice in their cases. Over the course of my career, I've been fortunate to have experiences that other criminal defense attorneys frankly lack. In the infancy of court TV, around the time of the O.J. Simpson murder case, I was lead counsel in a case that was broadcast on court TV nationwide, gavel to gavel. My clients know that even as a young lawyer, I was trying big cases. In front of hundreds of people in an event called the Battle of the Lawyers, I was asked to recreate a famous closing argument that I had done. And I'm pleased to say that I won that competition. I've taken a murder case where my client confessed to the killing, and I appealed it all the way to the Supreme Judicial Court. The conviction was reversed, and I won him a new trial. At that new trial, despite the signed confession that the government still had, we achieved a not guilty verdict. The thing about our firm is that we are always looking forward to the next challenge. When clients first call our office, they are scared. They do not know what's going to happen to them, and they feel out of control. We work as a team to fully investigate and research a case and put the client in the best possible position to succeed. Get the benefit and insight of an attorney and a firm that has been down this road many, many times before. The goal of the Yannetti Criminal Defense Law Firm is very simply to provide the best criminal defense representation that is available anywhere.
Yay! Yay, I love that. You must have been kicking me theoretically, hypothetically, by default around the world, pick the middle one. Pick the middle one.
I had no idea what you would pick. Okay, that's it for me.
Look, Simi said she was trying to find the clip of Linda on Fox News with John DePetro, and I've got it. So here, let's play this. Wait, I think I did it. Did I? Nope. Wait. God damn it. Total professional. Smooth as fucking butter. Oh, there it is. Yes. So this.
Turtle Boy, phone calls with over 40 hours of conversation. And we don't have content, we have the contacts. We have the contacts because apparently they used an app. I think it was Signal. They also had a ton of text messages. We don't have the content. But here's the thing that's come out recently is that Turtle Boy, according to the reporting, seems to be willing to flip. Now, he's not going to get into this case, but he apparently had all kinds of contacts with her during this case. He's charged with witness intimidation. He's also charged with conspiracy to intimidate witnesses. And in Massachusetts, you don't have to name the co-conspirator in the indictment. All right.
Can't move the closed caption.
Grand jury minutes from that case are sealed. We don't know the other piece there. Here's why I tease all of this out. And Tarlik, I want to come to you because you're our former judge. What a mess. Because even
So that's Linda Kenny Barden, upright, from Justice Serve TV.
Imagine, in light of the fact that they had all of these contacts, if she is the co-conspirator, could we get another trial? What's your take?
You know, Paul, I think that this Turtle Boy is a problem, and I think the prosecutor played this one right. I think that they're treading lightly. They have to be very cautious. They didn't flip him on purpose because who's going to take him credibly? I think that they have played this one right, and they are strong-arming him, and he wants to flip, but they're not giving him the opportunity to do so.
Before we go further with him, let me show the quick clip that we have of him, which is going to be number 12. Can we just show some of the stuff he's done? Slide 12, please.
I posted on my Twitter account at Dr. Turtle Boy, of course,
Oh, so quiet. Sorry.
I found out that he was a car driver that was not seeing the body that morning, and I was wondering why the police hadn't spoken to him. So I messaged Lucky. I introduced myself, and he said he didn't want to. So absolutely not. I think the bigger question is why did a blogger, as Hank Brennan calls me, why did I get to speak with the car driver before Michael Proctor did? Why was I more interested in what the eyewitness had to say than the state police detectives in charge of investigating John Keith's murder? I think that's a great question.
Linda Barton, this guy reportedly was not only getting leaked grand jury minutes from Karen Reed, reportedly, he had details that nobody else was supposed to know. He apparently even got the autopsy photos. That's the reporting. And now all of a sudden, he was her biggest ally, selling her memorabilia. He's in all those documentaries. Now all of a sudden, he's got a toe in the water about flipping because he's looking at multiple years in jail if he's convicted on all of these felonies. I want to ask you a very pointed question because nobody knows what went on behind the scenes here. Were you Hank Brennan? You're loaded up with all of this information that I just said. Would you have made him a prosecution witness, this guy? Would you have tried to flip him into your case in chief in this case?
No, absolutely not. And I think those indictments are going to go after Kazoo because he's a journalist and he's got a source. And boy, John DePetro would love to have Karen Reed as the source or one of the cops as their source. Okay, simple as that. We've interviewed Aiden a couple of times, Aiden Carney, in our show. I mean, without Aiden Carney, we wouldn't have known about all this misconduct. Without a lot of the whistleblowers, we wouldn't have known about all. That is true. And so I give good credit to Aiden. I think
look at John DePetro.
I think people up there mistrust the police so much when they hear that he's the one who has to find the witness, and Proctor and the state police don't go for another year. Were they really looking for the truth, or have they decided within the first 16 hours that they were going to indict the whack job? And I think Aiden's brought some light to this case, and I'll defend him. If Aiden wants help defending these charges, I'll go defend him.
All right, now look, John, I know you cannot wait to respond to that. Go ahead.
Yeah, he belongs in jail, and so many things. I talked to him 2 years ago, July 23. So many things he said were not true. What Linda is minimizing is he has terrorized innocent people. Karen Reed used him to go after people. Look how we all say, look, they've abandoned the third-party culprit people in the house. He was targeting, harassing families. He's used horrific language on the judge, on the mother of John O'Keefe. Linda, you have to look yourself in the mirror if you represent someone like him. He is unreliable. He is basically pathological liar.
One at a time, please.
The C word, okay? And you're going to defend Proctor uses the C word? Okay.
You said Proctor was going to testify. And also, the specialist said you could make that road in 4 minutes and 15 seconds. You were wrong on that, Linda.
All right. Listen.
I would have called him.
All right. here's the story. I wonder why they didn't call him two. Here's my take on it. Because we're not gonna, but I was gonna say.
So that I just grabbed that off Twitter, but I'm sure there's a less someone filming it from their phone with their nose breathing on their television. But yes, go get him, Linda. Go get him, Linda. Love Linda Kenny Barden. Yes. No, wait. Motion to screen. What the fuck, Brandon? You have to say goodbye before we wait. Yes. Hi. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. Everybody drop some love from his what the fuck in the chat, please. Thank you so much, ma'am. Couldn't do it without you. Hey, so we've got 5 minutes. We're going out with OnlyFan. I'm going to use the bathroom, fill up your drink. You don't need to go anywhere. There's a redirect programmed in like a proper YouTuber. I even did it while we were streaming. Wow. Thank you so much for being here. That's week 7. I will link the Crash Daddy edition in the description box, if I remember. And we have 2 more live streams. Well, 3, I guess. 2 more on the bloody YouTubes, and then we'll be heading over to Kick. It's always a fun time there. I love it. Yay! So stick around, buckle up. We're going out with OnlyFan. Thank you, mods. Thank you, Shorties. Thank you for the gift of memberships, for the sit down weasel demon bloody. What am I keep saying bloody? Hey, wait. Yes, gift of memberships, sit down weasel demon super chat from Steph, and I will see you all in just a minute. Buckle up. Oh. Fuck, I do this every time. Wait. Changing the background before I hit end. That. Boom. Free Karen Reid. Like free Karen Reid. We're getting there. Not guilty, not guilty, not guilty.
She then is outrage till the end.